rebuke, I rebuke you, I 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 rebuke.
Okay, you can rebuke it all, but it's a very practical process with 49% of the population. And relationships are reflective. You reflect and draw the kind of men that you reflect. You draw what you are. So if your interactions are chaotic with men,
I rebuke.
about your rebuking, the clock counts for everybody.
That
Kick rocks, bitch.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
the chaos,
let that chaos reign with,
the chaos,
let that chaos reign with,
the chaos,
let that chaos reign with,
must reign. Yes, 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 yes. What's good, everybody? What's good? This is Chaos Rain here, back again with another one, a very special one dear to my heart. But before we begin, I would like everybody to go to my description and follow me on my social medias. And these are social medias to follow me below. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You can join my Discord service. You can also follow me on Rumble, CRain23 on Rumble. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. Remember, membership has perks. And I will put the link for people to come up. So what is today's stream? Well, today's stream, as you could tell, this one right here is the 3rd anniversary of the one and only Kevin Samuels. This marks the 3rd year since he has transitioned off this earth. And now it's with I would say, the heavens, the ancestors, etc., etc., etc. So what we're gonna do for this particular broadcast, we're gonna play some videos, 1 or 2 videos maybe. And as you see the thumbnail, and it's very fitting, and the timing can be so on point with this one. If you recall the young lady on the lower right corner, I'm gonna play some that will go back in a moment of time. But as you know, as y'all know, and I mean, as you know, that Kevin left a trinkets of information, content, and lessons that men and women could learn from what he has laid out, the foundation through a lot of manosphere, from non-black to black. And if you notice with a lot of men today, right, and salute on Ms. O, is that a lot of men still felt the loss of Kevin Samuels. And I don't blame him. I don't blame it all. Don't blame him all. So one thing I'll do, I'm just going to run just this one video, and then I'm going to work my way up to show you of this lady right here that you see on the right corner of the thumbnail. So what you're going to listen to now is something about dealing with high value man. And not only that, this video was done roughly almost 4 years ago, of August the 31st, 2020. This was like 4 months after Who Was the Prize. And that's really what kicked off Kevin to being a well-known household name when he shifted the gears from men doing content men, self-improvement for men, to now self-improvement for women. and that's where he has really taken off. No further ado, let's play this video, and let's always know fair use and effect. Let's go. This is Kevin's 3rd anniversary.
I did hear you.
Oh, wrong one. This is the one I want to play. Sorry.
I did a while ago, when C.J. King talked about him being the prize, and it ticked a lot of black women off that a black man actually had the nerve to say something like that. Hold on, ma'am. I have to. This is a dialogue. All he said was he was the prize. Hold on. Well, this is a dialogue, so this is how this is going to go. All he said is he was the prize, and that because of where he is, he didn't.
Now, as another time, Kevin was still getting use of the Yeti or the special mic, because when he was playing that video of that live stream he did back in middle of May, I think May the 15th or May the 10th, I believe. This was like a week before his actual transition. Since 2020, 2 years later, if I could be right. Let's go.
Did you read what he wrote?
I did. Respectfully, I wasn't finished.
Well, respectfully, ma'am, this is my show, and this is how it's going to go.
But if you wanted a dialogue,
okay. Here's one thing that's not going to happen. Here's one thing that's not going to happen. This is my show. You're going to respect my show as it is, or you are not going to talk to me.
Is that is juxtaposed?
And you see, she kept quiet, And I'm not sure what happened to what they call it, Ebony on the left. I think her name Ebony. Or Brittany. I'm not sure what happened to Brittany. I think Brittany got married now. Because she was listening to Kevin's content three years ago. Or probably it was 3 years ago, and I think she probably doing other things. Hope she got married though to a man, hopefully a black man, but who knows nowadays with a lot of modern women. Let's go. And people know Brittany's on the far left corner underneath this chick that says she got PhD in the bottom. Let's go.
Yes, is
Did you hear me?
Against black women. Yes, can you hear me?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
No, I muted you. Because you were talking over me, and that's rude when you come onto someone's platform. I'm running 5 people. Did you understand what I said? Did you understand what I said, ma'am?
No, she did not.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a lag.
Okay, do you understand that? Okay, there's a lag. So what I need you to do is if I start talking, please, I'm saying something for a reason. Don't just talk over me.
Right, but you cut me off. So
that's okay. I can do that. I run the show. If that's a problem, then you don't need to be here.
But you asked me a question.
And I'm going to continue to ask you questions.
Okay. So what's your question?
I said that he only said he was the prize once. He didn't pound his chest or didn't drone on about it. So you
now, yeah, if y'all recall, and I remember Uncle D did a broadcast on this thing about why men are the prize. I'm not sure if it's still up on his platform, but my thing is this, that a lot of modern women did not like when some men have a set of high self-esteem in regards they view themselves as special, especially if they're putting the necessary work. They should carry on and move like they're a special person, because it takes a lot of work, hard work, dedication, effort, discipline to really be of any value or try to be a very productive man in society. And that is not an easy feat, especially when it comes to black men, really, if you think about it. So for a lot of these ladies that got in their fifis when C.D. King said that I am now going to potentially be the first on 1%, and I'm going to be the prize. What is so wrong with that? Well, can't tell women nothing nowadays. All right, let's keep going.
Just characterize what he said.
No, I didn't. That was not my issue that I took with the post. May I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So the issue is that he juxtaposed his success against black women. What's wrong with simply just being successful?
He juxtaposed it against the women who are going to be, he's going to be out here dating. What did he say about black women that was incorrect? Factually wrong.
I think that he made several generalized statements about what Black women think or believe
Ma'am,
and what we
ma'am,
want. Yes?
no. What he did is he quoted facts, statistics, and data that can be pulled readily from a website called blackdemographics.com. And these facts are not in question.
He did, but the
So
issue
what is
is
wrong
that
about saying
you
those?
don't have
So what
to.
is wrong about saying those things?
He's created a narrative that his success somehow has to be juxtaposed against Black women.
You
It's
didn't
just
answer
simply
my
not
question.
necessary.
You didn't. No, you didn't answer my
I
question.
did answer your question.
So by saying that Black women typically don't want to date down, is that true or false?
What's his definition of dating down? Having a JD does not
dating.
mean.
See, and it goes back. You're gonna move the goalpost, baby. God damn, lady. Do you really have to move the goalposts? Do we have to define what is dating down now? Really? Really? You gotta be delusional at this point. I think when they talk about dating down, I'm convinced they talk about Black men. Dating a Black man, you're not gonna have a high status. You're gonna not gonna be like Miss Ann. You're not gonna be white woman. You're gonna be sitting out here in these streets, in these neighborhoods, in society, and be looked at as a Negro, a nigga. Oh, and you know how a lot of women, sisters generally, don't want to be a Negro. They want to be Mrs. Ann so badly. And you know, this Black man can't give them that white woman worship or white woman accolades. So like one content creator said best about, you know, I don't know if it's a myth of white womanhood or whatever they call it, but she doesn't like it. So let's keep going.
Down, if you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to answer. Dating down is Black women tend to want a man who has at least what she has educationally and in income wise. Dating down would be somebody is hold on. Dating down would mean dating down would mean you're a college educated woman and you're dating a non-college educated man. That could be considered dating down. Dating down could mean you're making one income and the man you're dating is making less than you.
Yeah.
Those are two
Yes,
examples.
but
of
right
dating
now
down.
he has potential. He doesn't have a job.
You
right?
asked about dating down. We're not going to move the ball. You just said Black
I'm
women
saying that your definition of dating down.
Sugar P, what's going on? You guys, let me say something. Daisha.
And as per
Daisha, let me tell you one thing. If you want to get what you want to get out of life, what you just saw happen, you guys remember her? Cannot help you. Miss Juxtapose.
And you know, it's going to lead segment to this other video I'm going to play, because this one's going to be telling right here. Because this woman that has a PhD and she's very arrogant, stubborn, very hard-headed. Does she give up Michelle Obama vibes, people, gentlemen? Does she give some of that vibes? I'm just saying, does she really give up that vibes? Because really, think about it. She feels she's better than you. She looks better than you. I mean, she feels she's in a higher class. What do you expect? All right, hold on, guys. What's this? All right, let's keep going.
You cannot be combative with men, Miss, just because you disagree. And when someone's trying to talk over you, cannot just talk over them and disrespect them. You said you're a little bit nervous because you're talking to me and my 50,000 subscribers and my 500 people.
We're getting there, guys. If you haven't heard this,
pay attention. She's talking to me like I ain't shit, or she can just talk to me in any kind of way. And I'm all wrong. And I'm trying to have a respectful dialogue, but it's hard to have a respectful dialogue with someone who ultimately has no respect for your position. So, this is what tends to plague a lot of Black women. And this is what this brother was referring to. And anybody with any common sense and can look at observable reality knows that nothing that man said was incorrect.
Oh, and guys, please hit the like button. Like the stream. Likes are free. If likes, as I'm looking through, please like the stream. All right, let's go.
Black women don't want to date down. Black women have
That's true.
a list. Rebecca Lynn Pope, Miss Tiffany Bolden. If you go to Rebecca Lynn Pope's video right on YouTube that has almost 1 million views, a popular matchmaker here in Atlanta talks about why she stopped being a matchmaker for Black women because Black women's expectations in their mates were ridiculous, unrealistic. This information is not without dispute, but the fact that a Black man, an actual accomplished Black man, had the nerve to actually speak it is offensive to the point to where we can't even have a conversation with somebody who comes to my show to where, no, you're going to check the shit. So we can try this again, Tiffany. If you like to speak and be on the panel with everybody else, please try to do like everybody else on the panel. No one else has a problem with this but you.
What is it that you believe that I have a problem with?
It seems that you have a problem with the way that I run the panel.
No, I don't have a problem with how you run the panel. You asked me a question, I was trying to answer it. And I think that you're going off in a direction that is not actually, part of what I was actually thinking. And so then we start having a conversation about something that I wasn't trying to have a conversation on because it wasn't my
but
belief.
that's not. But what you want to have a conversation on, the respect, ma'am, is not the point. Somebody said, "I bet that woman is single." No, she's not. She has a long-term relationship. Her boyfriend actually came onto my panel, my platform, many times, and he actually came onto the show the other day. I mean, later on that week. Pay attention. The point is, he said what he said. I just JD. I've entered a new.
Yeah, man, you're right about it, Mr. O. He was smoking the hell. He was taking a pack of Newport cigarettes daily on these chicks, these oops. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people, when they like Kevin and his roast, is normal roast when he plays that music, dims the lights, you see the flashing lights. It's like Christmas all over again. All right, let's keep going.
Arena for Black men. In this arena, I'm now the prize. Don't take my word for it, though. And before you kill me in the comments, let me drop some stats. Black women outnumber Black men by 2 million. Is that true or false?
Yeah, no, the statistics are true.
Okay.
We're not debating statistics.
Okay. Well, no,
I did
but,
not have
ma'am,
an issue
no,
with the statistics.
no. But the majority, his post was all statistics. After that first 2 sentences, it was Black women outnumber Black men by 2 million. Black women don't want to deal with the Black man who's gay or down low.
Her name's not
True or
Ebony,
false?
it's Tiffany.
That's true.
That has baby mama issues. Is that true or false?
It's this woman right here.
I think that that's true on both ends for men
Has
and
a
women.
felony,
We don't want to
conviction,
deal
or criminal
with,
record.
with drama on either end.
Felony, conviction, or criminal record. Is that true or false?
Debatable.
So
The way that we are over-policed.
So Black women do want to deal with men who have felonies, criminal records, and convictions.
I say that there's a lot of Black men.
This is a
See, and this is the thing that Kevin always get these chicks every night. He asks a simple, direct question that needs a direct answer. Not no back and forth, not no hoopla, not no speculation. A simple yes or no question. When you're doing hooplas or background with a lot of things, you set yourself up for a bigger trick bag, and he's gonna throw another question over another question, and eventually you're not gonna know about or get it, and you're gonna eventually just all right, let's keep going.
yes or no question. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There's no gray area here. Either Black women do want to choose to deal with, who want to deal with this, or don't want to deal with this.
No, I would think that if given the choice, that Black women
you
would
do have a
probably not
choice.
want to deal with
Well,
that.
that's the thing. And here's the thing. It is a choice. And he's in one of those.
But we
hold
also-
on, ma'am. He is one of those men who are outside of that choice. That means it's getting more narrow.
So ask yourself a question. Why am I having to go back and forth on a show where I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women in the chat room, in the call-in, who we all agreed to a lesser or greater extent. One woman was married for 20 plus years with 3 children. But yet, the most educated of them all was the most combative of them all. And it was coincidentally also what you tend to see, unfortunately, is a through line for far too many of our sisters. Their education makes them, they use it in a masculine way. It's like competition. You can feel this woman thinks she's my equal. We're equals in her mind. Forget the fact that I'm older, more accomplished, or whatever. Nope, nope. You're going to see what it comes down to and how this links in just a second. That's what he said. Black women typically, so statistically, 37% of black men are in jail, while 1/3 of black men have some sort of criminal record. That automatically makes the pool less of the 2 million, and there are 2 million more, and he's narrowing down the pool. Black women typically don't want to date down and prefer a black man who is on the same playing field with her or higher. Is that true or false?
I'd say sometimes it's true.
Sometimes it's true. So sometimes black women want to date down.
I wouldn't characterize it that way.
Well,
I would
that's the way
say
it's being
that there are a lot of
characterized. Okay,
women.
So black women
No,
do
there's a
want
lot
to
of
date down or
women
not?
who
I'm just trying to.
How about that, guys? Can I hear? Okay, okay. Let me see what's in the chat room. Yeah, listening. Okay. It seemed like a healthy conversation. Well, not really healthy conversation because the back and forth really doesn't make no sense, in my opinion. Obviously, she's very combative. You can't answer a direct question, so everything else that Kevin throws at you is going to be a Hail Mary type. But anyhow.
Just so we're all on the same page. I know you don't like the way it's being said, but we got to be on the same page. Are you saying that black women do want to date down or don't want to date down?
And that's the direct question. That's the direct question. Yes or no, bitch? Yes or no?
I'd say that a lot of black women would choose to date a man that respects
You want
them
to
than
date
date a
up,
man that
ma'am?
makes
Can
more
you
and
answer the
disrespects
question?
them.
Okay, we're going to do this one more time. If you don't want to answer the questions as they go, I'm going to put you off the panel.
I mean, I've answered your
No,
question.
you haven't.
Sir. I haven't answered it the way that you want me to,
and that's
but I
a
have
problem.
answered the question.
And that's a problem. And ultimately, that's a problem, man.
Look, I'm answering your questions.
Well,
okay.
I consider it
if you want to put me off the panel,
counselor, I consider it to be unresponsive. see, you know when I talk a lot about good faith.
Yep.
This woman did not come into this conversation in good faith. You could count how many times she used the word juxtapose, and the laughing was other women laughing at her. So, high value men, I think a lot of women just think that their education and their income makes you high value, and this is what high value men don't want. So, your education and your income by itself is not the problem. It's your attitude and ego that goes along with it that can make you unattractive to the very men you say you want.
And fellas and ladies, you know there's that one, especially ladies, you got that one friend that is acting like a bitch, right? And like literally, and you're close friends with them, and then you fake the back of your mind, God damn, why was there friends with this beep? You feel me? Gentlemen, you know you dealt with or you dated or been in a relationship or whoever of this type of nature, this type of woman. Doesn't you find being with that type of set woman is draining to not only your spirit but your psychology? Because you got to do more. I'm not sure how agreeable people will agree on that, but when you have those type of women around your life, it's very hard to get stuff done personally. Let that sink in. Let's go.
I'm questioning her like I'm cross-examining her. And I would say, Judge, permission to treat the witness as hostile. And I would say, you're being unresponsive. See, I'm good at what I do. And the fact of the matter is your positions are full of crap. And I'm picking them apart, and you don't like it. Ultimately, this black man did nothing that the rank and file black woman who's accomplished something does not do. And this is a problem. And I have yet to hear what the problem is.
He has not lied. Black women want to date down. And I actually have a woman on the panel sitting about here splitting hairs whether or not women want to date down. Do any of the ladies on the panel
That's
know
not true.
Do any of the ladies on the panel know women who say, you know what, I choose to date down? That's what I really want to do. Is that norm? Is that the norm? Okay.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tiffany. Why is that so hard for you to just say, okay, if other women are saying, no, I don't know any women who typically want to date down.
Why is it hard for you to understand that
It's not
a
just
man
me.
that is
It's not just me.
abusive
It's other
or
people on the panel.
arrogant or people that you haven't muted then?
Because you're the only ones being combative.
I'm not being combative.
Okay,
I'm
you're
speaking
right.
my mind.
You're
If I
right.
don't agree
You're
with you,
right. You're right.
right?
You're answering. You're being perfectly respectable. You're answering the questions directly. You are doing it. All right, sis, I'm wrong. It's me.
What if you were though?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is me.
Okay,
I'm
so
wrong.
what I'm saying is that you
561 people in the
actually
chat
haven't.
room. 561 people in the
It's
chat
okay.
room. Is it? If put your hand in the air. If it's Tiffany, give me a 2 if it's Tiffany or 1 if it's me.
That was pathetic.
561 people, because apparently the other 3 women on the panel don't matter either. So I'm wrong. The other women on the panel are wrong. So let's see what the 561 of you guys think. 2 if Tiffany's wrong, 1 if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Get the likes up, folks.
But as we get on waiting down, what they're saying, with this massive criteria, the black women
All right.
don't want in dating a black man.
Also,
they
guys,
have
we're gonna open the
essentially
call lines.
drastically
We're gonna open the call
limited
lines.
dating pool of
We're gonna need at
viable
least
black
10
men.
more people to throw something in the
Is
super
that
chat
true
or
or
the
false?
Cash App or something. Don't let the folks.
Make sure I'm not an echo. I'm not an echo. Okay. I probably did.
Do you see the problem here?
Yes.
Do you see the problem here? Now we're gonna debate the definition of is. And this is how we're
No,
this
but
is how
viability.
we're supposed to actually interact with black women and try to actually build relationships and build communities.
I got a question for a lot of black women who think there's nothing wrong with what she's talking about. Has your education and your income made you easier to deal with or more difficult to deal with? How is your education and income helping you in relationships with black men? Because I know black women who are educated and accomplished, who are working with men just fine and recognize it as a possibility. But I also know black women who recognize that they have gotten into their masculine energy by getting closed off and relying upon their income and their education as a sword and shield against the world. Okay? Here's what happens with a lot of our sisters. They end up getting hurt or trauma or something like that, and then they retreat into themselves, put up a sword, a shield with their education, and a sword with their job. And that's what they go to war with all the black men.
Yeah, I know, Kevin. I know. A lot of people miss some people. I know. All right, let's keep going.
With instead of trying to use it to work with black men. So it's not that black men are intimidated by your job or your money, it's this. And there are plenty of people who would say she's high value because of her education and income. But value means utility to someone else. Is she useful to an individual black man? And is she useful to a group?
Community requires communication.
No. Communication, and that means what? That we do what you want to do? Because you came onto my show and you don't even want to try to operate according to what I'm doing. And I'm using this as an object lesson. Now I asked you what is viable. I said that you drastically limit the pool of viable men. Viable according to education, criminal record, sexual orientation, everything that the brother outlined. And you're going to actually say what makes viable.
Okay, so you're based off of that definition of viability.
Oh, one thing. As you guys watching, please like the stream, share stream. As you know, this is the third anniversary of Kevin Samuels. I may actually make this more of a yearly thing. Now I think about it. It's funny. Out of all content creators, I think he's the most well-known content creator that a lot of people still reference, still have not, I would say, gotten over his death, even to the point now that some people say that way how he is content and how it moves a lot of men, it actually gave a lot of men hope. For people that did not know that, Kevin's content gave a lot of men, modern men, hope. For those that don't believe, let's keep going.
Yes, but that is not my definition.
Ma'am, we're not
viability.
debating your definition of viability. We're debating the man's post, not what you think of. And we're just making sure we're on the same page. Okay.
Right. But the issue that you think I have with the post is not the issue.
Okay. You see why 70% of these women go unmarried. Additionally, black women want their mates to be attractive, have some sort of edge, style, exciting, and not be lame. All this is subjective, but we know these are X factors, which lowers the number of viable black men. All these things are true, even if some of them are subjective. The problem is, what was wrong with what he posted, Tiffany? Hold on. I think we're about to get
My
to it.
issue again is that he did not have to juxtapose his successes against black women. It's just entirely unnecessary.
Seriously.
May I say more?
So I want to be clear. You're saying that he should have just said, "I'm the prize," but he shouldn't have said anything about black women that is factually accurate or true. So let me ask you.
No, I'm
Hold
not
on.
saying
So
that
let
he
me.
should
No,
have
no.
said
That
that
was a
he's the
rhetorical
prize.
question. So do you hold this same position for black women when they're speaking about themselves?
Certainly.
Notice the question I asked. Do you hold this same position about black women when they speak about themselves? They should just speak about themselves. They should not they should not talk about black men at all. Sisters, is your education and your income being used to help you with your men or to turn you against your men? So black.
The answer to that question is no. Their income does not help or benefit the man. If you think it should, because you know how we men are. We said that some of these ladies' money is no good, roughly, generally. But it sure would be nice that if she offers because of her kindness or heart. Well, we all know most modern women don't want to give no man no money. They sure as hell want you to give them your money, but that's another story. Fair use.
Women who talk about themselves, they should never bring up black men and juxtapose their accomplishments against black men. Uh-oh. Ike in the chat room. Big Ike in the chat room.
I am the king and will not be. I am the king and will not.
Ike is the only person on the channel that has his own super chat sound. Only person. That's the Ike sound.
I don't think it's healthy.
No. That's not what I asked. I asked, do you hold that position for black women?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to test that.
Okay.
So the Pay fact
attention.
that he actually had the
It
nerve
gets
to
good
bring
from
up
here.
something about black women that was true was problematic. Why?
It's unnecessary.
You
why
said you said it's unnecessary. That's subjective. But why do you say it's unnecessary?
The blowback came from the juxtaposition of his success against black women. It's not a necessary conversation to have.
Well, what's the issue? The man's confident. He is on his way to being well accomplished. What's the problem? And to the guys that's in the chat room, and let me know if y'all still active. I know some people have not subscribed to the channel because I know there's nobody responding in the chat room. That's fine. But let me throw the question anyway. Don't a lot of modern women, especially black women, throw their accomplishments all day, every day to black men in their face? Don't they normally do that on an everyday basis? Am I right or wrong, gentlemen? Put in the chat room. Furious.
And I think it's an overgeneralization as to what black women actually want.
Well, all he
Yes,
said
there
was,
are
hold
some
on, man,
women.
overgeneralization. That no, we don't get that one. All he stated was facts.
He stated facts that there's a lot of ways that you can state facts to create
But
a
here's
narrative that
one
is not
fact. Okay,
necessarily the
what
one
did
that
your
we would
husband say
have.
about this?
What?
What did your husband say about this? Did y'all discuss it?
No, I'm,
Listen to how off throwed she was. She was thrown off when I said, what does your husband say about it? I need you guys to listen to, I'm not even going to fill in the word right here. Fill in whatever word you want to fill in when she says what. I need you to write, what does that sound like? Give me an adjective. What does that sound like? I'm going to play it again. Give me the word that describes how she said what?
not
Hold on.
married. I don't want to state facts to create
But
a
here's
narrative that
one
is not
fact.
necessarily
Okay,
the
what
one
did
that
your
we would
husband say
have.
about this?
What?
What did your husband say about this? Did y'all discuss it?
No, I'm not married. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. Like I choose to be single.
Okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay, congratulations.
Now, see right there. This is where remember, guys. That's where he got the soundbite. I'm a PhD. What the fuck does a PhD have to do with you conducting as a woman in a harmonious, healthy relationship? Especially if you were in a marriage. What does your PhD have something to do with you in relationships? And a lot of modern women cannot put two together. And a lot of them operate like men. Let's be brutally honest. And because they operate like men and compete like men, they want you, modern men, gentlemen, to be and act like a woman. Because there can't be two men with two of the same sex wearing the pants. One has to be the man, the other has to be the female. And to a lot of modern women, they, in their mind, subconscious mind, they operate and move like they are the men in every situation heavily possible. And no, there only could be one man, one woman, not in between. It's kind of giving off homosexual vibes in a way. Furious.
But that was
Thank you.
unnecessary, right?
Nope, because
No. You just
I
no,
don't go
ma'am.
around saying
I
that
just
I'm the
asked you about
viceroy.
marriage. So I just asked you about marriage, and you juxtaposed it against your education.
Yes,
That was
because I'm trying to
unnecessary.
give you context.
That's
I'm giving you
unnecessary.
context about the prize
That's
conversation.
unnecessary, according to your way
Okay.
of thinking. So I asked you simply, okay, you're not married. What did your boyfriend and or the man in your life say about this?
Say about what specifically?
This conversation, because you're having it with me, so I'm assuming you had it. See, notice how she talked all that shit about you just need to stick to the point. And you didn't need to bring up anything else and juxtapose and juxtapose and juxtapose and juxtapose. When I asked her, all right, what does your husband have to say about this subject? What? She was offended that I had the nerve to ask her about a man. Mm-hmm. And this woman has a boyfriend or had a boyfriend at the time of making this. She said, I have a boyfriend. And she said he was there. And he's actually the person she said was her boyfriend came over to my show the next day. Heck, he was even in the chat room for a while and in Facebook group. I let him kind of hang out. But I'm not going to lie. I'm like, any dude that's kicking it with this ain't in charge of nothing.
And they're not going to be in charge. And gentlemen, I'm not sure you guys I have not experienced any of this. I'm fortunate for now. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to tolerate that type of ish. Really. And I know most of you guys, depending where you are in life, mentally, spiritually, and your age, you can't afford to deal with that in your life. Like, look, really. This reminds me of that broadcast that Tracy Ellis Ross said that she don't like deal with men, modern men, because men are too toxic. They have standards. They're giving off some controlling vibes. Women like that are always gonna be and forever be on the verbatrous carousel. They're always gonna be on that carousel, gentlemen. And they can never have enough jumping on from one cop to the next. It's sad. All right, where am I? All right, let's keep going.
She's one in that relationship. She was offended. And then when I asked her why, she's like, I would not choose to be married. I'm a PhD. I asked her about husband, and she said PhD. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we got to go back to that. Him. Case.
Yes.
That was like,
no, I'm not married. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. Like, I choose to be single.
okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay, congratulations. Say about this.
What?
What did your husband say about this? Did y'all discuss it?
No, I'm not married. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. Like, I choose to be single.
Okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay, congratulations. But that was
No, I'm not married. I would not choose. I would not choose to date into something like that. Like, I choose to be single.
okay.
I'm a PhD.
Okay, congratulations. But that was and notice that she juxtaposed her PhD against being a wife. Mm-hmm. The worthiness of coupling, the worthiness of marriage, the worthiness of relationship. She didn't need to be serious. She didn't need to marry her boyfriend, who she claimed that they had been together for years, because she had a PhD.
Yeah.
See, a lot of you guys think I just pull stuff out of my butt and just making it up. And I'm like, no, I've lived life. I've experienced life. And I know too many women like this. Heck. And then you see this woman on CNBC. We met online and he buys everything for me, does everything. And we've been together 7 years. And then you wonder why someone like myself comes along and says the chances of you getting a high value husband are slim to none. The more education you have or the more money you make. Mm-hmm. Because too many of our sisters have not learned to not use their education and their income as a weapon against black men who are not your enemy.
Not your enemy. Yeah.
Non-black women can go to college. Non-black women can go achieve. They can go earn money, and they can still become wives and mothers.
Yeah.
And not look at their men as combatants. But far too many of our
now, the argument that's laid out for those that have not been paying attention, right? Have not been paying attention, right? That their men are in the same institution as well, so they don't have to really, in their mind, say that they have to use their education against their own men because they're in the same institution getting educated, maybe same education or even more better form of education or dependent degree to get, that they don't have to really do that. I called no. I bunked that because you still have to operate as a woman as if you're going to be his mate to compliment him. And if you're in a war where you're trying to get up over him, to throw your little achievements to him, to make yourself feel superior, make him feel inferior. Because remember, that's the purpose of these institutions. They do promote a inferior complex if you're not careful, depending on what the class you take, the type of indoctrination, the mindset. It's like a power boost. A lot of modern women when they go to certain institutions, especially higher learning, like the colleges and maybe any other forms of institutions, depending on where they take their education. So power struggle, man. It's a real thing. Let's keep going.
Our women get completely screwed up when it comes to high value. Get it all wrong when it comes to being high value. And they think because they have a degree that's master's or PhD, or they earn over $80,000 a year, that automatically makes them high value. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I'm here to tell you, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, and it never will. And I will tell you that all the men that those women are with, they don't have any real respect for those guys. They are running those relationships. That is another reason why these women won't get married or deal with anybody, because cooperation is hard enough. Forget submission. Forget that. That ain't gonna happen, buddy. But as we get into it,
All right, we're gonna stop here for this part. All right, we're gonna remove that. Now for the thumbnail. What you're gonna see me play is a sit down of Kevin on that same night having a conversation of one woman that I guess has some pushback to Kevin's rhetoric about high value men and can women be as high value and all that nonsense. So let's listen good to this one. All right. Make sure you guys leave your comments, your questions. Please support the channel with super chats and all that stuff. If you put a question super chat, I'll read it, depending on the question. So, let's go. Oh, and one other thing. I forgot my little thing. I'll play it. Go ahead. No, I don't got it. I don't know what this is. All right, let's go, guys.
And I know that women are feeling really confused because.
All right.
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You can put my
I'm trying.
camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch it over right now. It's just a little bit of a lag. So, how are you doing today? What do women tend to get wrong about being high value?
Well, I did hear you talk, and I know that women are feeling really confused because on one hand, we're asked how much debt we're in. Did we go to school? Are we able to take care of ourselves? Do we have our own place?
Oh, I forgot to say this, guys. If y'all did not know, today was the day for student loan for people to start pay up on their loans. So, for the sake of this conversation, I hope you gentlemen are not behind student loans, because now the government is going to come and get and collect. A side note. Let's go.
All the stuff, but then on the other hand, we're told that that stuff doesn't matter and it doesn't make us high value. But it's like it kind of does if we don't have debt or we have our own place and we're able to take care of ourselves. I feel like that's kind of like our efforts is kind of being like shit on.
What do you mean? Because I want to be clear. When I asked, and I said, it matters. It matters why you did it. Did you watch the first part where I said she decided to go to a private school to become a physical therapist?
Okay.
And even she said, don't do that.
Right.
Because
That's
it
way
put her
more.
in $230,000 worth of debt.
Right.
Okay.
That has to matter to a man. It has
Right.
to matter to a prospective husband. Now, it's not the amount of the debt, it's the mindset. See, I want to be clear that I'm on the same page, because what I'm kind of hearing from you is like the women can't win no matter what we do.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
Okay. Are we talking about the same kind of men though?
I believe so. We're just talking about the majority, but at the same time, the majority isn't high value. So
Right. But so again,
We all know that. We're aware of that. We're aware of that. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
and I concern myself with men who are high value, who understand that the burden is on them to pay the cost to be the boss.
right.
Now, the question is, if women want that kind of, they want those kind of options, what do men like that want from their women?
They want them to not be in debt, to be stable, to be able to at least take care of themselves, right?
Nope. They want cooperation. High value
I
men,
think
high value men value after the looks component, because attraction has to be there for men because we're visual. After that, cooperation. I'm president, you're vice president.
okay.
I'm pilot, you're co-pilot. I say we go that way, you say okay.
I can see that. I also feel like men should choose a woman that they respect and value her wisdom as well, so that he doesn't feel like there's maybe so much competition, or feel like she's talking and she doesn't know what she's talking about. Because I do think, like you said, co-pilot, that's a partner. So I do believe men need to pick partners that are smarter, and I think that a lot of men just based off of how
Now
attractive
we
a
need to be
woman.
clear on. Now I don't like the word partner. You're an assistant. Mike Pence does not ever try to usurp Donald Trump's authority. That's one thing. So partnership. If you listen to my content, I believe a woman should be feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. And that is a part of being feminine that only a woman or a father can do. Inspire a man to become greater than he normally would have been. That is part
Right.
of being feminine.
Right.
So there is a feminine wisdom that comes through there, but
Correct.
only when a woman is in her femininity can she really inspire a man. You can't inspire me by trying to say, run harder, push, 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 climb, climb, climb. That's not your job. That's dad or
there's a
coach.
way. There's a way, and like you said, inspiring, and there's a wisdom. And if a man can respect a woman's wisdom, then she can inspire him in the right way to build his empire beyond what he could have even done by himself.
You've said the word respect several times. Why is that important?
Because I do feel like a lot of men don't respect women's roles as much as they respect theirs. I feel like a lot of men
Okay, let's
see.
go.
Now, what do you mean by roles? I think that's what a lot of men been. Last time I checked, fighting a lot of these modern women that they should be conducted and move in their natural state of roles as a woman. From what I can remember, what roles that you think that these women are that these men said they're conflicting that you should not be upholding? I gotta hear this. Let's go.
Let's go down that
they
path.
feel like, yeah, I feel like a lot of men make money and they feel like, okay, money gives me respect, but as a woman, you making money doesn't give you respect. So you just need to make money and take care of yourself. But I'm not going to give you any respect for that. But I'm making money and I need respect for that, and I need
Well,
this.
all right.
This,
So
this.
what I need to. So here's what I need you to. If I heard you correctly, you feel as though men value their roles and responsibilities is more important or supersedes a woman's roles or responsibility.
Yes, they don't respect our role, which is why a lot of women want to make
Okay, it's
money.
not,
so
hold
that
on.
they can
Okay,
respect.
but that's true. My role as a man is far more important than yours.
Yep.
Well, then
Because
how,
this, I allowed you to speak. Let me
Okay.
go ahead. Women don't build. Women nest.
Yeah.
so is that not important?
Huh?
Is each role not equally important?
No, it's not. No, not as equally important, because if it was, you could show me some place in nature where women individually could survive on their own without the group.
Okay.
The female is always dependent upon the male. See, in a state of nature, a woman's ultimate purpose on the planet is a man. You
I mean, is
take
that true? Aren't there bugs that like kill the man or something like that? I mean,
okay,
do they always
okay,
really-
all right. So if we're going to do this, I'm going to try to speak to the not the.
Now, you see right here, this is where the confliction happens. And I get it, because a man's trying to bring clarity, common sense of how we as humanoids, Homo sapien, is how we conduct in the line of nature as two sexes. and which has not changed in centuries. Last time I checked. To your psychology, you're having a hard time dealing with this. And I get it because you feel you're at the same or even more higher playing field than a man. And I'm sorry to say this, sweetie, you are not. Fair use, fair use.
Anecdote, not the Black Widow. We're going to just speak to the greater. There are always, the exception doesn't disprove the rule, but let's say you have an egg, but my sperm. You have one, I have many. Your job is to take the sperm, the egg, incubate, and make baby. I give, you multiply. We build, you nest.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to imply, that bugs delete men. Mm-hmm.
So without the ability, there is no nesting without the first building. So, and that's one of the fundamental disconnects today is women, and it sounds as though you think we're equals.
I don't feel like we have equal roles, but I feel like our roles are equally important.
They are. They have importance. But
Yes.
but as far as the equality, see, if you and I, we could have the rip roaring debate all we want to. But if you and I were laying in the bed and a bump went off in the night, it's my job to get up and go deal with that.
Right, that's part of your role. At the same time, it's part of a woman's role to make sure you have peace and to make sure how to.
Let me finish. But the thing is, one role supersedes the other. I have to be willing to die for a woman. You just have to be willing to follow a man.
Mm-hmm.
But saying you're controlling our lives. Because
no. Now that's the thing about high value men don't control anything.
Well,
high value men, what we do, we don't control anything. We just tell you what we are and not going to deal with, and you can choose whether or not you want to be there.
Well, that is controlling.
It's not controlling. It's an option. You don't have to be there. You have a choice.
I understand that, but that's not really giving someone an ultimatum. I mean, that's like basically saying it's my way or the highway.
Listen, baby. If you have a problem with control, right? Let's go there. Let's just go there. Let me make myself a little bigger. If you have a problem with control, my suggestion: be with other women. And then tell me how that works, right? Because as you know, this is the biggest issue I'm finding out with a lot of modern Western women. They're fighting for the freedom, the independence. I do what I want. Who's going to check me, boo? A man is just there for me at the end, but you'll tell him what to do while you don't listen to any orders he gives you. In an imperfect world, that sounds good. Or I could say perfect world, whatever you want to call it, where you look at it, but the world's not really nice and perfect. So there has to be rule and order. You are the chaos that I must restore the order in which the world we live in today. Because women are that chaos, and they want to live and unleash their own chaos, not only to themselves, but for the environment itself. A man step in front and place it and restore order is foreign, is toxic, is a nuisance to a lot of modern women. Because now you have to be controlled to regulate your own inner chaos. A lot of women still fight that today. I'm telling you now, control is good. Ladies, keep that in mind. Let's go.
No, ma'am, it's not. No, ma'am, it's not. If you don't like the job, you go find another job. You're not a slave.
That's what I'm saying. We're not a slave, so
fine. If you don't
why are we being treated as?
Okay, we're talking about generalities. Look, men. Okay, where's a civilization that women have ever built, created, and run?
Where's the civilization that men have?
No, women.
Oh, I don't know.
They haven't. See, and that's part of the issue.
Our role isn't to build. Our role is to nurture.
Right, but one comes before the other. Without the building, we would still be tribes. We would still be living in caves and nomadic. We would have to follow the food sources. But when men started to collaborate together, we started society. This is anthropological and sociological. This isn't new. Human beings have learned how to see. One of the things I think, Janae, is interesting. Human beings for thousands and thousands of years have learned how to do this. But in the last 70, we want to flip everything on its ear and say that, well, you and I are equally important, and that was never in question before. But at some point, who leads?
Well, hopefully the men.
Why is there a hope?
Because a lot of men aren't leading, or even leading properly, but hopefully the men.
Okay.
And
so when you say a lot of men aren't leading, that's two tracks. I deal with men who are high value men who are leading properly because they have the receipts to show in their life. They're doing just fine with what they're supposed to be doing. But the men who aren't leading properly, why do they have women?
Because there's not that many high value men to go around.
Okay, well, if you want a high value man, then you have two choices. You have several choices. You either can compete to get one.
Yep.
Which he's going to give you your options. And do you want to compete to get one? And if you get one, it's going to be competitive. Yep. Can you get one and secure one? If high value men are the only options, then you have to do what it takes to get one of those. Or what are the other options? Not have a high value man?
Yeah, that's the other option.
So,
and if it's not, and which most men aren't, and so if that's the case, then men just have to evolve and learn how to.
Well, men aren't having the problem. Men aren't having the problem though. Men see.
Yeah, and now I see what these ladies are getting at. If you guys been following recently, they said that a lot of men have been lonely, poor, this, that, and third. Last time I checked, a lot of men are pretty fine where they're at if they can't get the woman they like, or don't get adequate intercourse with a lot of ladies. Men today have found alternative ways to do without for the time being. If they had to get some poontang, either they go into but I hear some dudes paying for it, which I don't agree. Or they could sit there and be in a chick's face and tell her some bullish, and then she open her box and you get the work, blowing that back out. One way or the other, that's the options that I men will face, right? But there's no really issue of men being lonely in mass. It's actually the reverse. Women are pretty much lonely now if they're not engaged in licky acts or have these toys, which really toys only go so far. You can sit there, zap your coochie as much time you want, but at the end of you need a man hold, squeeze, sucking, blowing your back out. So really, who's really lonely today, if we want to be honest? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I know where they think that men are lonely, but they're not. That's right. Men can handle being alone. Women cannot. That's correct. Let's go.
Society has always been set up for 30% of the men to never have children. Men have always accepted the fact that some would live through life and never reproduce. What society has never dealt with is so many women 30 plus who are unmarried and untethered to anything other than their jobs and their friends. Mm-hmm. So in Korea.
I think that's smart.
Huh?
I think that's smart.
Okay. Well, how is that smart? Well, let me ask you a question. If you go look in Korea, there ain't no black people over there. It's Koreans. In Korea, the amount of single women is bankrupting Korea. It's crippling the state because the system is not set up for so many women who are unmarried, no children, who are florists, who typically don't have jobs to where they build infrastructure. Women typically take from a society. Men typically build. So whereas you didn't need a large social safety net for men, because if men are homeless, men are on the street, society doesn't care about those. But when women are homeless on the street, then it's a problem. But see, at some point, you have to say who is putting the money or the stuff into the economy that supports all these independent women, and it's still the men.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if you're the freest,
You know, Kevin, I feel sorry for you, my brother. She really doesn't want to get it. I can tell by her response. She said, "Okay," because she does not get it, and she refused to get it. It is what it is. She does not want to get it at all. And you know, there's a saying. Since Mr. Finally Troop said it best, men have man cave. What female have? There's no cave for women. There is called a bird's nest for ladies. A bird's nest they got. And we all know if there's no children that they tend to, that bird's nest looks empty. Did y'all, oh wait, matter of fact, I'm gonna say this. Did y'all know, and this is something that came to my mind just now. Did you know that when birds lay their eggs and then make the nest for their little young ones to come, did you know after a while they leave that nest and go find some other nests? You ever notice that? Have y'all noticed that? Particularly the female birds, y'all notice that? Food for thought. Just food for thought. Fairies.
you've ever been, women in this country are more entitled to, you have more rights, more freedoms, more abilities than anything else, but happiness is through the floor. 25%. Because
I can tell you why.
of course, it's always going to come back to men, though.
They haven't evolved with women.
Well, see, now tell me, and this is where we're going to have a problem, because every time I talk about something that men do, I will let men be responsible. But your points tend to always go back to the men.
Okay, I can take that. I can understand that. I don't mean to do that, but I do see things from a woman's point of view, and so I'm just giving the other point of view, which is just, I think that things did evolve and women did change.
What do you mean did evolve? What's the evolution? What's the evolution? Hold on, let me explain what I mean by the evolution. The evolution is women have not evolved. Women have demanded more, but you still expect men to be traditional men, yet the average woman today is not a traditional woman. This is why female dating coaches, female relationship gurus are starting to pull back from working with women, because they can't even deal with women's unrealistic standards when it comes to men. Men are really simple. Men really want sex, sandwich, silence, and cooperation.
Yeah, men are really easy to keep. I mean, men are really easy to keep.
But if that's the case, why are so many women unmarried?
Because I mean, in my case, I break up with my boyfriends because I'm not going to just stay around just because of money, or I just feel like a lot of people haven't worked through their traumas. I know you talk about therapy a lot, and I do too. That's great. A lot of people don't work through their traumas, and they push blame. They don't know how to communicate.
Well, my question though is, why are they your boyfriend?
Because you don't realize that until into the relationship. Like they're good guys and they have a lot of great qualities about themselves.
I disagree wholeheartedly, because when I was broken, I picked broken people. I don't have those problems anymore. I don't have relationships that end poorly now. Even the ones that don't end in marriage, they don't end terribly.
My relationships don't end terribly. That's how I feel. I feel very positive about all my exes. I wouldn't bash them or say anything negative.
But I also understand that women are women and men are men. And at the end of the day, who leads? And basically what I'm hearing is only a certain kind of man can lead. Only high value men can lead. So basically you're saying 90% of men should do
cannot
what?
lead.
If that's the case, then and here's the thing. If that's the case and you want a man, you better make sure you better make sure you qualify for one of the 10% that can lead you.
Well, I mean, that's most women though. Like, I mean,
No,
not all
but
women
I'm
are
saying,
gonna
I'm saying like 1-to-1. I can't deal with most women. See, I accept what you're saying. 90% of men can't do anything. Good. Then you better make sure if you want one, you better qualify for one.
What's good, J-Lock? What's good, J-Lock? How you doing? Hey, guys, do you want me to drop the link and bring people up? Let me see. I think I want to do it. If you guys want to come up, let me know. I'm going to keep going. Let's go. Various.
One of the 10%. Know what they want and be the one they pick. Separate yourself from the other women so you can become his wife, his long-term whatever. That's what it comes down to, women who believe what you believe. I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that we're disappointed and we want men to level up in a lot of ways.
But why do
and
you
I
need
think
to be disappointed if you only think 10% of men can lead? Don't worry about
That's
the
what's
90. Just say to
disappointing.
those. But see, the question I have is, can you get one of those 10 and keep them?
But that's what's disappointing is I would like more women to be able to have high
But
value men.
but
It's
but
not
that
just
but I'm
about
asking
me.
you a direct question. Can you get one of the 10% and keep him?
Yes, I can. That's easy. It's easy to keep a man.
Really?
Keeping a man is easy.
Now,
Yeah.
All right, I will drop the link in the next 10 to maybe 30 minutes. Be patient, guys. I want to get through the halfway of this particular segment. Now I'm going to drop the link for y'all. All right? Sit back. Farious.
when I define keep by marriage.
Well, keeping a man is easy. Getting a man to marry you is easy. Do
Oh.
I want to marry him though? Is the question. And is
No.
he fit to be with
See,
me?
we're
Is
bouncing
the
around.
question.
So now, see, you blended two things. I don't care about the 90%. I care about the 10% that you said high value and can lead. Let's talk about those. I said,
Okay.
can you get one and keep them? Meaning, can you become one of these men's wives? And what I'm hearing you say is you don't want to be a wife?
No, I'm saying that I can. I'm saying that it's
Do
easy.
you
I'm
want to be
saying
a,
that
do you want to be a
if
wife?
I would love to be a wife.
All right. So how many high value men do you have that are prospects that you're the prospect to be their wife?
Well, when you say there's only 10% that are high value, then it's really not that many, is there?
No. I'm not dealing with everybody. You've said it's easy to get. So
It's easy to keep
all
a
right.
man.
So
It's easy to get to keep a man.
then you should have no. So you're telling me that you can deal with any group of men. That means you can get them to 10% of the high value men, and if it's so easy, then you should have
Yeah, 'cause
plenty of
I'm around
proposals.
them.
Let me
I'm around
finish.
them all the time.
Okay, but you should have
And
plenty.
they're
But you
just
should
like-
have plenty of marriage proposals that you're fielding and turning down.
Well, that is true. I do.
Okay.
And but the issue is I see things from a broad perspective of there's not enough men, and even in
I'm not worried. Okay, but Janae, you can only marry one person. I don't see. It doesn't
Yeah,
make.
but it's not just
But it
about me,
doesn't.
it's
What
about
you're
it's
saying
about all
isn't making
women.
any sense.
Because it's not just about me. It's
but
about
yeah, but
all
I'm only
women.
talking about you. See, when
But
we
here-
hold on, when I'm talking, but that's the thing. When I talk to women, I talk about them, not all the global issues. It's 1-to-1, and see.
But it's not one
Hold
to one.
on. Okay, you can't talk over me. You can't do that. I'm asking. You said you have. Are you saying you actually have been proposed to by high value men and you've turned them down?
I'm saying that
Is that a yes?
I
That's a
feel-
that's a yes. I just need to know that part.
no, because I've broken up with them before that.
Okay.
They've talked to me about marriage, but I've broken up with them before that.
So why'd you break up with them?
Because they don't have good communication skills, or one was abusive. He ended up being abusive, or
So why are you classifying these guys as high value men?
because it's a high value man. As all the points that you had of a high value man, you never said anything about not being abusive. I mean, he had money. He had money for a long time. He had a network. He was a sports broadcaster. He did a whole, but he had all even the attractive level, every pinpoint of a high value man. Everybody thought he was a gentleman. He was very sophisticated. He held himself well. Everybody knew him. His name was good in the street.
Okay.
It just months into the relationship, he showed a very abusive side that as soon as he showed it, I had to get out.
Are we talking
because
about physically abusive?
Yeah, physically.
Okay. And then the next one.
And then the next one, that one was more so later. The one previous before that, we were just both too young. I was like 19. He was 21.
You can't be high value at 21.
God
He
damn
was in
it.
the NFL.
I don't care. No, ma'am.
Oh my God. Oh, don't tell me it's dumb. Oh, no. Oh, wait. I gotta pull the soundbite. I got to have the soundbite. Hold on, guys. Where the Kevin, where are you, man? You know what I'm about to do. Come on.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up. God damn it! You can't make this shit up. God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Baby. Sweetie. If you were 19 and he was 21, he was in the NFL. What that says about you? Oh, for those that don't know who's on the screen, I'm gonna pull her up right now. The one in the lower right corner, the one with the long hair and the black, all black. This is
Be high value at 21.
this woman that you see on screen now. This is Janae Amore. Now, if you were 19 and he was 21, if my map suits me right, that means that was just recent. Yeah, that was recent. Because you were born in 1991, Miss Amore. So you broke off. I'm not sure how long, if this was considered a relationship, which I don't know what you chicks consider a relationship nowadays, and that's another story. But if that was a relationship, right? Why you ended it if this man is playing for the NFL? I think that's a win if you're able to bag an NFL athlete. It's not perfect, but a win's a win. But you break up because of the time I say he's young and you label him a high value. No, the fuck he's not high value. He just started. He might got some money here, but he's not high value. It's a process. And for those that don't know, I had the same stupid argument on a call-in show a week ago. And I'm hearing the same scenarios with a lot of dumb Negroes. Yes, Negroes. They still refer to high-value men today. And this is what their response is. This man makes a lot of money. You can't make this shit up. Hold on, man. All right, let's keep going. I ain't gonna. I'll laugh. Yeah. Various ways.
The starting line is around 30. See what this is this video, and this is what I'm trying to kind of. That's why I let you kind of explain it. That's why I said what women get so wrong about high value. And one thing that I noticed that women, you'll classify men as high value that don't fit, because everything that I've heard you say is pretty much these guys over here don't qualify. They need to be more like these guys over here. But even the guys over here, there's something wrong with them too. So at the end of the day, ma'am, it always comes down that there's something wrong with men.
Yes.
And that's not, and again, you're free to have that, but that means you're going, no, ma'am. No, I can't. No, not on this channel. Because that's the same. No, man. No, I'll let you speak. That's the same thing K. Michelle tried to pull. The men are bad people. If something's wrong with all the men, we attracted what we are.
There's not something wrong with all the men. It's
all the men you pick.
No, it's not something that's just wrong with all men. I mean, obviously, you can't just say me, because there's a lot of women.
No, but I'm only talking about you. I'm talking about the men in your world, because again, I don't worry about all. See, we can't talk about things that we haven't lived. You've said that these guys over here aren't capable of leading, and the guys over here that are capable of leading, there's something even wrong with the ones I'm picking.
There's something wrong with them, yeah.
All right, well, then if that's the case, my question is this: who is helping you vet through these men, since you seem to be able to attract these guys who are high value, but there tends to be something wrong with them down the pipe? Who's assisting you with vetting them so you don't do that anymore?
I don't have anybody helping me. I mean, I would like somebody to help me, but I don't have anybody to help me.
Well, that would be wise, because the thing which, because if you're going into this with a good faith argument, you can't. There has to be something to say. Well, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong with the way I'm evaluating things. This is why therapy is always.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I did hear you say that that women should basically go to college to find a man. But if we're going to college to find a man, then wouldn't that man be in his 20s? And so wouldn't he not be a high value man?
You misunderstood. Well, first of all, every woman doesn't want a high value man. So you're confusing things.
I didn't know
You
that.
basically said you need a high value man. And my thing is, if you need a man in the top 10%, but here's the question. And if you need a man in the top 10% and you can attract them, you seem to be attracting ones that don't sound high value. They sound high value but either way, you're not really getting the outcome. So someone to help you sort through that. But let's assume you did have someone to help you sort through these high value men. What do they want from you?
They want peace, peace of mind, and a helpmate.
Okay.
I start.
Good sex, probably. I mean,
Okay.
the regular.
Okay.
Not the regular. I mean, these are elite men.
I mean, to me, it's like you said, guys are simple. So it's easy
No,
to-
men are simple. High value men are a special breed. They all the stuff you're talking about comes, peace. They don't deal with conflict.
Yeah.
right.
So my question is, do you know what men in this category of men really want from a woman that they would marry? So if you did run across a man who hit all your high value marks and they weren't abused, I mean, all the negative stuff that you say, if he was the man, why should he pick you over the other 99 women in front of him?
And we'll do a pause for a second. Do I got my thing? Run this little quick commercial. You know what it is, guys. Support the interests.
My money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
Support the channel, guys. You know it is. Super Chat or Cash App. The Chaos Rain Show, or whatever they call it, $, whatever it is. And as you know, one of the ladies has stepped up on this anniversary of Kevin Samuel's death. And as you know, it goes back to the notion beyond the I'm a PhD. Most women like this lady right here. She wants it all. And not only she wants it all, she wants perfection and wants to be in control of it. And I'm saying, sweetie, you're not in control of much nothing. And if you want those men that's, let's be honest, making them money, the status, they're going to be in more control than you. You got to pick a struggle. Let's listen to more. Fairies.
Because besides all the stuff you said is basic, I am actually intelligent, and I know how to help inspire him to grow his empire.
Okay, so how would you communicate that to him in just an open dating setting?
I think we would just talk about maybe his ambitions and where he's taking himself. I mean, I don't know, it just kind of happens.
Well, and what I'm trying to kind of show you is you know what you want, and you can definitely say what you don't want. But what you seem to have a trouble articulating is how to give somebody who you would want what they want.
Okay.
And that tends to happen oftentimes with women because it's all about you. It's like, I want this, I want that, I need this, I need that. I hear you. And there are men out there who have that and more. Why would they pick you over the rest of the competition?
I mean,
That's the
I mean,
question that
I
all
said
women
what
have
it
to
is.
answer. Huh?
I said what it is. I whenever I say I feel like whenever I say it's my intelligence or what I have to offer, how I want to build with a man or how I want to
Well,
have
understand
this
now. I
foundation of
need to
empire.
now. So when you say how do you want to build, what does that mean?
I mean, I have very big goals and dreams. I don't have regular ambitions. I'm not a 9 to 5er. I like business and I have a lot of business ideas and things I like to invest in. And I
So do you have
believe
any? Do you
that,
have any? So real fair question. Do you have any ideas? Are great. Do you have any actually business acumen and accomplishments in that feat in the business world?
yes, I have. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
I will say most high value men are not looking to marry a wife.
And see, that's exactly like, it's like you
Ho-
ask me that and
ho-
then you say that.
See, now she's being combative. She's getting triggered. Like, the trigger gun. Boosh. Boosh. That trigger. You know how modern women gets triggered when a man says something and they don't like in their psychology. They say, wait, I'm getting triggered. I'm getting triggered. I'm getting triggered. Yes. Feel the trigger, baby. Very serious.
You guys aren't interested in that. So it's
Well,
like,
hold
it's
on,
almost like
hold
anything
on.
that I
Well,
say, I
hold
have
on,
to
slow down.
offer.
Hold on, slow. Okay, you can't overtalk me. What I'm showing you is you don't seem to realize who high value men. I'm telling you what high value men and fit in the category of the kind of men you're talking about, what they want from their women, and you cannot be upset that they don't want what you bring to the table. They don't care.
Okay, so
That's
I mean,
nice.
so what do they want? Like,
But see,
it's
that's
like,
that.
it's
And
like,
see, but Janae, but see, that's the thing. And thank you for asking. If you
yeah.
want one of those men, you need to get curious about who they are and what they want, and see if you can bring it to the table. It's not my job to go translate what these men who are out there doing what it is you say you want.
Okay, so I would like to know what do they want from, what do they,
Well,
what do they,
one thing
I
that
guess
they
my
want is
question.
cooperation. One thing that they want is high value men across the board want cooperation, and that comes in a myriad of different ways. But they also expect their women to play the background. They don't want their wife to be up there trying to build with them. Having ideas is great. This is what oftentimes you see men who are truly high value. What do? Their wives will start their own business or their own company or their own pet project, right? Why do you think that is?
So that they're not involved in the same project. They don't have the same.
So they're
not
out of their
in the-
freaking way. So they can go over here and the wife can use her and that's better for instead of trying to go over here and build. But what you said is you have big goals, big dreams, and big ambitions. That's fine. But
And I have
a
a lot
high
of
value
ideas,
man, but a
so-
high value man is not looking for a woman who's, as long as you can facilitate those dreams and ambitions on your own income.
That's a good idea. Do I get that soundbite? Let me think, Jay. Shit, let me look for that. I'm gonna keep playing. Let me find that soundbite. Good thing you mentioned that, J Lock.
You'll have too much time. That means what's going to become your motivation, him or your ambitions?
See, so I'm confused on what you guys want. Like, it's so weird. So you don't
We
want a
want
woman
we
to
want
be
we want you to be
ambitious
a
and
we want you to be a
have a lot of
helpmeet.
money.
We want you to be a helpmeet. We want you to be
I'm gonna find that soundbite. Since you mentioned J Lock, good looking out. I'm gonna find that. Let's go. Ferris.
a helpmeet. We want you to be what females traditionally are, because I think so many women in general are used to talking about guys who cannot get it done. And that's what you've become accustomed to dealing with, that when you run across men who can get it done and don't need you to do anything else, due respect, Janae, you may be an intelligent woman and have everything you have to offer, but I need a CFO and a CIO or somebody that I can hold to the task, that the board can hold to the task, that the shareholders can hold to the task. I'm not going to use nepotism when my career, my legacy are on the line. I got plenty of people I could put in that job, but you got hundreds, thousands of people that are relying upon this decision. And men, high value men, need women to understand that, number one, you will always come a distant second to his purpose.
Okay, so what makes so I'll ask more questions. What makes a high value man find value in the woman that he's with if the things that you're asking for are so
Because he values women. He values a lady. He values a woman, but a woman is not a man's equal. See, the value a man has in a woman is in her femininity, her beauty, her cooperation, her submissiveness, her elegance, her sophistication, her way of being softening to his harder edges. This is why you see the first lady typically put in front of the country on different kinds of initiatives versus the president. Because men have to get in there and be rough and tumbled. Men don't want to sit around and have to debate with women. That's an arena for men. And see that now the thing, my question is there any value in being a high value man's woman if that's because it seems to me like that would be kind of constricting for you.
Yeah, I really wouldn't want to feel like I'm somebody's slave. Like I just got to
Well,
be
you
a
use
yes
slave,
woman.
you use slave, but slaves don't have. I mean, so basically, women who have a high value lifestyle are slaves. So that's cool.
I'm kind of like Trump's wife.
Well, again, but there are more women than Trump's wife. So by extension, if you don't want that, because then you open yourself up to what? It sounds like you want
being controlling.
No, it
and
sounds
man
like
trying
what
to
it really sounds to me is you want to. It sounds to me as though you want a non-traditional, a very fluid kind of relationship, and guys like that tend to not be very ambitious, not very motivated, and don't.
No, I like really ambitious men.
Okay, but
I like really ambitious men.
but
That's what I
again, very.
No, baby. You like men that you want to be in control. Let's be honest. That fact. Hold on. I got this soundbite. I damn sure got this soundbite. Hold on. Where the hell is it? Oh, damn it. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, I gotta find that. Hold on, guys. Where did I put it? There you go. Oh, damn it. All right, I gotta clear the thing. Let's keep going.
But again, ambitious men tend to be cut from the same cloth. That's why success has a template. See, what I'm hearing from you is modern woman. And that's fine. But modern women want men to be traditional men.
Choice. We don't have a choice.
No, ma'am. That's bull. You have a choice. You do have a choice.
18,
You do have a
we have
choice.
to go to
You
college,
do
take
no,
debt,
ma'am.
find a job,
You
and
have
make
it. You
money.
have no, ma'am. You have a choice. You just don't like the choices.
Well, the choices go to school.
Maybe this.
The cap.
That's right. Stop the cat. Stop the cat, baby.
Find a man while you're young, and then just do whatever he says, and hopefully you pick the right one.
How many high value men do you know their wives?
Do I know their wives?
How many high value wives do you know? How many women do you know that are married to high value men?
I know a few.
Okay, do they talk like they're in prison? Be honest.
I mean, sometimes.
Ma'am, come on. I'm not talking about the nuance. In general, do they sound like their lives are miserable?
I said sometimes.
Okay, well, that's the human condition. If you can get 80% of what you want, Janae, you want. Here's the thing. One of the problems with us as human beings is we tend to want more than we bring to the table. That's what Rebecca Lynn Pope, a matchmaker, was saying. I don't begrudge you for wanting what you want. I just hope you can bring equal or more than what you want to the table.
Well, what's equal or more than what I want?
Well, you have a lot of different parameters. I hope you bring as many parameters and options to a man that he finds appealing.
Like what?
I can't.
Now, if you had to ask, like what, that tells me you want the man to bring everything, and you do not bring nothing at all. And in your subconscious mind, the thing that you're talking about, you think that you only bring is You pull down your panties, you open your legs, and you spread wide eagle and let the man, bounce on you. That's one factor, but it's not enough, sweetie. But Kevin might want to will explain details since you don't know. And this is good because you need to be re-educated. Fairies.
I can't
do have
answer
lots
that.
of
I can't answer that. I'm not dating you. But what I'm saying is, you want a unique kind of high value man that really does not exist, because the traits that make you high value, you seem to find somewhat troubling or offensive. That yes, they're going to be. He's going to expect to be in control. He's going to expect to lead.
Yep.
And that's what it's going to be. He's not going to go out and be the CEO of an organization and come home with you and negotiate on things that he's already decided. He will take your input. He values his wife's input. But see, what it sounds to me is though that's not enough.
No, valuing the input is enough, but don't come in and just say, demand this is this, this is that. I don't want to hear this. Like, have respect for my.
But see, but the way you've come at this is the implication is there's already there's no respect from a man, which seems as though, due respect, ma'am, it sounds like you have an issue with men in general as a species.
Not all of them, because I'm friends with a lot of. Friends with a lot of men.
But being friends with them and cooperating with them and building a life are two different things.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I do feel like guys are very, sometimes, especially when they make money, they feel like, and if you're young and they're older, they feel like they know everything and you're young and you need to just sit down and shut up, and they don't really respect.
Are we talking about? Hold on. Okay. Hold on. What are we talking about? If you're young and they're older, they know more about what?
Just everything in life. I've dated a guy when I was young, maybe when I was like younger, and he was 10 years older than me, and it just seemed like everything I said, he was like, you don't know, you're young, and you don't really know, and he always just kind of like belittled me or kind of silenced me.
But the thing is, again, one man, it's not all men. You sound like you have an issue with men. And that's because you talk about men and you'll go back to one experience. There are more of us out here. And have you ever had, how about this? Have you ever had good, healthy relationships long-term romantically with the man that ended well?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say they were. Yeah, I mean, sometimes no, sometimes no.
Kevin, she just answered your question. The answer is no. How I know this? Because a question like that's a simple, really response, a quick response. If you had to contemplate it, think deep, long, hard about it, by default, you have not really had a relationship like that. Now, some relationships could end on your behalf, or it can end on his behalf. We all know most relationships, women end more than anything else. Hell, most of marriage end by women anyway. So it tells me that if it's not in their favor or it's what they're liking, or let's be honest, perfection, they'll pull the plug on a given notice. And that's just a straight up fact. So yes, she has to be honest with herself, and she's not that. No, she never experienced a relationship that healthy, that ended very well. Oh, for one other thing, I'm gonna put the link. If you're coming up, right, you got to watch language. As much times you're putting it in the chat room, or anybody that's going to come up here, Google is not going to allow any language and in what they call it in how can I say it, all caps, to be posted on their website. For those that don't know, I know we're emotional. I know we want to be expressive as much as we want on this platform. This platform does not allow for type of derogatory language to stay. I'm just giving y'all guys a heads up now. So if I do drop this link, you will have to be very mindful, and you have to watch your language too. As I'm not cussing on here. So I'm gonna continue playing this. I'm gonna drop link. All right.
I mean, the relationship was good, healthy, and it ended well.
If
You have nothing but great things to say about the guy outside of just human.
if that's the case, you should marry that person, right?
No,
Well, how are you going to have a good,
because
healthy, happy
because
relationship
sometimes
if
it just doesn't fit. Because in Western romantic relationships, sometimes the chemistry is just not there. Modern women want it all, and the thing is, every man cannot be a problem.
Well, if the chemistry is not there, then that's
But
not.
that's. I mean,
how do you
yesterday
get
you
into a
also talked about looks and this and that, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
let me just put it down to you this way: if other women are figuring it out, why can't women like yourself?
I think that sometimes people just get lucky and
No.
they find the right
Okay,
partner for them.
okay. So do you talk to the women who got lucky and figure out how to be lucky like them?
I can talk to more. I can talk to more of my friends who have. Yeah.
All right. So
I mean, but they did. They just got lucky. Like I have one friend, and she found him off of a dating app.
Well, again, high value men really don't deal in luck. Success is not a matter of luck; it's a matter of work. And again, I asked you. You talked about being a high value man's wife as almost like it's a prison sentence, like you're in a gilded cage. And I mean, and honestly, that's really prevalent, especially in a lot of womanist, feminist kind of language that we're equals, this and that is fine in an argument or a debate, but in a relationship, if you want a driven, ambitious, alpha kind of personality man, you're going to have to be a feminine beta kind of woman.
A beta woman?
Yes. What does beta mean?
Beta just seems very pushover. And
dear, I got to be honest. Beta is just second in command. See, every time I say something that's just not in charge, you find just, oh my God.
It's not that it's not in charge. It's just that I'm not going to be looked at as like I'm lesser than, or I don't.
Okay, well, let's get to the rubber meets the road. You are. Listen, no offense, but honestly, you can have all the opinions you want, right? Can you actually subdue a man physically?
So because I'm not
stronger, I need you to understand. No, ma'am. I need you to understand something. The reason, if you don't want to do the exercise, we can't. But see, you can have the attitudes you are, but at the end of the day, men are physically stronger than you, larger than you, have more hand strength than you, and women cannot survive individually in the world alone. You need a group. Men can survive by ourselves. And see, it's like today, so many modern women really have a problem with the fact that you are the weaker vessel. You are the feminine.
We're physically weaker,
yes,
but we're not weaker. That doesn't make us
you
weaker.
are.
Just
okay, where are women stronger than men?
Well, emotionally, as soon as you guys get your heart broken once, you guys are done with all bitches and bitches ain't shit and blah blah. We get our heart broken over and over and over and abused over and over and over.
Okay, okay, Janae, that is subjective. Show me where. Hold on, man. Okay, no, man. Let's go through. Where have women, when they're head to head with a man, where have women when a woman wants to, let's say, become a firefighter? Can women can carry 200 pounds of dead weight?
No, women are not equal to men in strength.
Women are not equal. How about this, Janae? Women are not equal to men, period. And that's okay.
But that doesn't make you guys better than us, or that doesn't make you guys.
Okay, it does. It does in this sense. If you want a world, it does in this sense. If you want a world to where you're equally valued, build it. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you
Well,
from
I mean,
going.
the world is already built, so I mean, I
No,
guess
ma'am. No,
we're
ma'am. You
trying
could, but you
to.
can go out and compete. Okay, see, but you tell men to get out here and compete too. You can go out into the same
We're
world.
trying to.
You can. There's plenty of. You can go out and buy land. You can go out and you can go build Amazonia.
Well, and that's what women are doing. And that's what I'm
And
saying.
then,
Women are evolving.
but are they doing it without complaint?
You know, I swear that the back and forth, the battle of the sexes is real, for lack of better words. She said, "Yes, we are. We're building Amazonia. Where, bitch? Where?" I want to see this place you're building as Amazonia. Anyway, let me keep playing.
Of course, we're complaining
Well,
about it
then
because
it's
we
not
don't
worth.
like,
Okay, so let me get this right.
we don't
No,
like that
ma'am.
you
No,
guys
ma'am.
agree
Let me
with
get
us.
this right. Let me get this right. You don't want the world that men built. You have the ability to build your own world, but you're going to complain while building it. What you're showing is you can't make women happy, so why try? Make
What do
it
you mean you can't make women happy?
because
It's
you're not
literally
happy.
just
You're
how
not
about
happy
just
in the
respect
world
us?
that
It's
you're
that
not
simple.
happy in the world.
Just respect
You're not
us.
happy in the world that men built.
No, we're
You
not
then
happy in the
go
world that men
build
built.
your own world.
We're trying to do
Where?
that.
Where?
Where?
Okay, like with what you guys call the whole feminist movement. Like we're trying.
Oh my God. Are you fucking serious? Listen, baby. Sweetie. Wait. Let me make myself bigger. I gotta make myself bigger. The feminist movement, but that you do not know, ladies. It was helped and orchestrated by men. Did y'all know that? You would not have this feminism if the man, the non-black man, create the environment and pushes a few y'all. And I'm talking about from last century, not the last 3 or 4 centuries. They give you the leeway that usher in what we call feminist movement. He indoctrinated you to be this so-called feminist. Now, a lot of people gonna push back, say, "What do you mean? These women were always feminists. They came up." No, women don't create crap. Men create it, and they follow it. It's that simple. So she told me, said, "We are doing this with the feminists." No, you're still operating by a construct, an ideology, a thing that a man taught you and constructed the environment for you to flourish, so that way you have what we call a feminist movement. Hell, they said some of those what do they call it? Was it Gloria Stein and them were the ones that helped usher in the furthering and pushing for feminist movement. That's my check. So what have you really built? Really? Anyhow, let's keep going. Let me see who this is. All right. Who's this? Hello.
Hey, brother.
Is this my friend Terrence?
Of course.
Oh, good. Terrence, is that you in chat all caps?
Yep.
You have to be very careful. Google is going. They moderate. Some things will go through the chat room that they will not accept that. If you're using all caps and using foul language in general, to give you a heads up, that's how Google works. So I will not see it in the regular chat room in the live stream. So let me see if the thing's still up. Hold on, let me pull it back up here.
To build it. That's why we're getting better jobs.
Before I let you respond, for those people that's listening, the call line is open. You guys can come up and express what you see or heard, or your views or your thoughts about Kevin Samuels. I'm gonna just run 5 minutes. I'm gonna let you speak. All right, Terrence. All right.
I just heard you say don't do all caps.
No, you can't use any form of language like bad words or all caps because moderation will flag it.
Okay.
The matter of fact, it will not show up in the chat room because of all that. All right, so to let you know.
All right.
All right, let's go.
And that's why we're making more money, and that's why we're trying to buy land.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, who's trying? What are the 2 largest employers of black women?
I don't know.
The federal.
See, But you would not know that because you said you work for yourself. So you're not even aware of what the environment you're in. Where are you getting this money from? You had to get clients or customers. And your customer base, depending on what you're selling, is going to be a variety of two different sex, whereas men or women. So how the hell you don't know where are your customers getting their money from? Are they robbing Peter to pay Paul? Let's continue.
Government and retail.
Okay.
What are you going to build with income from federal government or retail?
Okay, well then women just need a better guidance on
No,
what
no,
to
no,
do.
no. See, if you're this is where it comes down to. If you want to be equal, you got to get out here and compete with us. And see, men understand we got to compete. If you want to be treated as equal, you're going to get out here and have to beat men. And we're not going to take it easy on you. We're going to compete against you just like anybody else because what you're saying is what we've done isn't good enough. So you need to go do better.
No, what we're saying is
what we're saying is give me what I want my way, how I want it,
okay.
like a spoiled, petulant child. That's how a lot of women come across. Like, I want what I want.
But here's the thing: you men didn't build. You men that are acting like you guys built this, you guys didn't build anything. Like,
excuse me,
your past fathers built
you
it.
men didn't build. Whoa.
Hear that? You can feel it. The energy, people. They said you have not built Wakanda. This is white supremacy. You up here, you men have not contributed nothing on this. My God. The vitriol. The anger. Damn, Janelle, I didn't know you were like that 4 years ago. Damn, baby. Let's keep going.
Whoa. You men. Oh, now, you sure you want to go down this path?
Okay, but you guys are demanding all this stuff.
I'm not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. See, men like myself don't demand anything from women. I don't demand anything. I don't demand. I tell you what I want and what I will and won't accept. I don't demand anything.
That's demanding.
No, it's not. How is it demanding?
Yes.
How giving you a choice is demanding? How?
Yes.
So if a waiter comes, so let me get this right. If Janae went to a restaurant and said, "Okay, what tonight, man? We have chicken, we have fish, and we have steak." Oh, you're demanding that I eat those? What about the vegetarian dish? Well, what about the vegan dish? You don't have beef. You don't have lamb. No, man. We have chicken, steak, pork. Well, I need a congressional hearing. These are the choices. You don't like what's in this restaurant? The restaurant that sells the vegetarian restaurant's down the street, but I don't like their food. Okay, man. But this is what we have on the menu. Choose.
No, this is more so what you're saying is we have chicken or get out. That's
no. What I'm saying is, okay. So you don't give men choices?
Yeah.
Careful.
I mean, I have my boundaries.
Careful.
I have my boundaries.
Careful. So you're demanding.
I have my boundaries.
So you're demanding.
I might be a little demanding.
Okay. So it's all right for you to be demanding. Why?
Because I also am very understanding.
No. We have an.
Oh, guys, the call lines in the chat room. If you want to come up, Mel, there, or anybody that's listening. I know you guys listening from clouds. Come on, this is Kevin's anniversary. Come talk to Chaos. I'll spread make the floor open a little more. I'll remove some things in the studio. But come up. Let's have a conversation. All right, let's go.
We haven't asked whether or not the men who had these demands, whether or not they were understanding at all. Just the demands by themselves were automatically invalid. See, what it is Janae, is women like you. You want a world that you did not build. You want to take the control of the world we built because it ain't good enough, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work the way you want it to work. And then when women get in a position of power, you don't make it better. Name me any city. Let me name me any city that's led by women that has flourished.
Good question.
City, but hasn't Queen Elizabeth been and wasn't she?
Oh, do you really? I'm good at history, and I don't think you want to do that.
This girl is a bonehead. She don't know shit because you're not reading nothing, baby. Even if you got to Google, and I don't think we had AI back then in 2020. It came out the next year to narrow down a search.
She's a
So,
feminist. She's a feminist,
of course, she's a feminist.
and
Her whole ideology, her movement, or logic, the confliction. This is a
yep.
sign of a feminist. Yeah.
And she's gorgeous, but ain't got no man, can't keep no man. She
Yeah.
done she done sat there and talked about at least 3 men that she broke up with, and she says she breaks up with them because of lack of communication.
Okay.
But they done already ran up in her.
Yeah.
And let's get it straight. You can get 10 females together and they can't build a freaking doghouse with the instructions in their hand. They ain't never ever built a damn thing. Uh when's the last time the proof of you need proof? Somebody somebody find me a female owned and run construction company. You can't freaking do it.
No, you're not gonna find it.
You can't do it. Somebody, anybody, anywhere, anytime, find me a female run and operated construction company. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Men build. Men build, and like you and Kevin said, females nest in what they build.
Mm-hmm.
This chick, this chick hates men and doesn't even realize it because she been ran through.
Mm.
Because
Mm, 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 mm.
she mentions the NFL player that had her and some other dude and another high value man. And
Mm-hmm.
what she's showing is it's impossible for a female to pick a mate.
Yes.
It's
Correct.
impossible because God didn't give females. It takes two things to do something. It take two doing anything in life requires two things: knowledge base and a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
God didn't gift or give the female anything to pick a mate with. He left that job to her father. If a female could pick a mate, she wouldn't have no need for her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with her and all these black females. They trying to pick a mate. The only thing they pick, they got they got three categories for males: cute, fine, and ugly.
Mm.
That's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not stable.
And they pick the main thing the main thing they pick a mate with is a wet vagina.
Mm-hmm.
That's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And their vagina is controlled by the media and their girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
not their spiritual mind. They cannot. It's impossible for a female to pick a mate. And she's got on here and talked about how she's tried to pick, and she's had too many sex partners. What people don't realize is every sex partner you have, that's a marriage. That's why did God say no sex before marriage? Because every sex partner is a marriage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And why? Because sex is a chemical exchange. A female can't get rid of male DNA. It's in her forever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've had all them dangalangs up in you and all that sperm in you, it stays. Why does it feel like and smell like super glue? Because it is. Because it is. And it never leaves a female body. So when you got all these dudes, when females have all them different dudes sperm in them, sperm has a head on it, which means it thinks. And the sperm inside a female is fighting for the control of that female, and she got different sperms in her They all fighting for the control of that female. That's why these females are so crazy and want to fight all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's hold pause for a second. Let me keep playing. Let me see one more time. There's only 15 minutes left of this tape, so and guys, come up, ladies, come up. All right, let's go. Fairies.
I don't know. History's not my thing. Math is my
Okay,
thing.
that's why I said I don't want to. But here's what you're showing at the end of the day. You're really wanting, and that's what I said. I hope you're willing to bring as much to the table as you're demanding. See,
I am.
And then and then if that's the case, Janae, you should be overflowing with proposals from viable high level men to be their wife.
You have to make sure you're in those positions and you're in those places, but
no.
Sure, at the same time, like you're saying something, but then you'll turn around and say that only 10% of men are high value.
But the thing is, ma'am, I'm not. It doesn't matter if only 10%.
Most of those guys married.
No. Okay, see the question. See, every time I talk about you go to disqualify and go vague, and see that's problematic.
I don't know how it's problematic.
Well, it's problematic because you take it off of specifically you and you go back to something vague and nebulous, and I won't argue that.
Because it's not just.
Well, it is. I mean, what city do you live in?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas, the seat of power in Texas. I lived in Austin for a short period of time. The Silicon Valley of the South. Lots of successful, high-value men there in politics. You should have no problem attracting a high-value man and becoming a high-value man's wife, because that is the seat of power of the largest state in the union.
But the problem, Kevin, she's going to have a problem. And the reason why is this, and this is my favorite soundbite. Y'all know? She's on the carousel. She is interacting with these men, but the men see her as what she is, and they got what they want.
Right.
They got 2 pumps. They blow that back out. You become that throat goat for that one or for a month or 2, and after a while, you might eventually get tired, cut them off, and they say, okay, they already lined up the next chick.
It's on to the next.
On to the next.
Next? Who's next?
Next, you know what I'm saying? Now you might get some sip that will sit there and say, oh baby, please don't leave me. And it happens. But most dudes, if you live in Texas and there are well-to-do men, depending where you're at, and she says she's from Austin, Texas, last my check. Oh my God.
Hey man, look here, man. It don't matter if she's by herself in the damn desert. If you got the goods, some dude is gonna get in his car and drive out to the middle of the desert to find her. But the problem is she's not what? She's not authentic. And why is what I'm saying true? What's the number one rule of relationship? You attract what? Who you are.
Who you are. Yeah.
And her problem, what's her problem? She's digging for damn gold. She's a gold digger. Yep.
Oh yeah, and not a good one either.
She's a gold digger because she's looking for high value man instead of, and what's more important than a high value man? Finding value in whom? Yourself. Since you attract who you are, and you're the greatest magnet in the universe is what? The human mind. So she hadn't cultivated nothing within herself. She doesn't know herself. She doesn't know her gifts. She doesn't know her talents. If she would identify her gifts and talents and go hang out in that field, in that profession, in that business, she would have no problem. But she's doing everything bass backwards and looking for dudes with these salaries. She's gold digging. She's gold digging instead of self-developing and self-inventorying. She's looking outside of herself instead of where? Inside of herself. And when she looked outside of herself, what did she find? She found, goddamn, you said it best, Gloria Steinem in them. Oh, these men are so problematic. Oh, you try to talk to one and they do this, and you give them, you have sex with them, and oh my God, they get tired of it, and I have to break up with them, and oh my God, the dating market is trash. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, no, no. You're not being real. You're not being authentic. You're not being self-developed, self-evolved, self-inventory, self-accountability. None of those things.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep going. And yeah, and like guys, please like the stream, contribute. You know, this is Kevin's night. Let's go.
That's true. Austin's very
Oh, what's good, Nat Channel? How you doing? Let's go.
there's a lot of white men. That's not really my
Okay,
type. I mean,
so
I do need to you know, open up and
oh,
expand
but
my
hold
own
on. Let me be honest. If you have a problem with what high value black men are offering or asking, I don't know if you're really going to want to hear what Brad is asking for.
I don't really like Brads. They don't attract
But
me.
you said you need to
Never liked
open
them.
up. Okay,
I
Brad.
say I do need to open up and try to date other races.
So
of
what would
men.
you date if you didn't date a white man?
Hispanic.
And
You know, some kind of Latino.
Hispanic men earn less than black men. You pick the one group that earn less than black men.
Well, then that's unfortunate. I don't know, biracial. I don't know, like
no. See,
you know, and I might have to do a follow-up show next time because she was making her rounds lately, and she's gonna prove Kevin's point. And for people to understand what I mean by the legacy that haunts the word, that haunts modern women, I mean the ladies that you see that Kevin has had on his podcast. Some of them have channels. Some of them are on the presence of social media. Hell, some of them are on Pop the Balloon. Stay tuned. And Kevin has made his point about the direction a lot of you modern women are going and heading. And his words should haunt a lot of y'all because he was right. After 3 years since he's no longer in this earth, since May the 5th, 2022. Now, for this little mixed chick here, Janelle Moore, or I heard she's Latina, whatever she is, right? If you're dating just only black men only give you the time day because you're not really black, baby. But if you decide to pivot to other groups of men, you're going to have to show and prove, and that attitude and that feminist mindset gotta go. I guarantee, baby, no man's taking that what you bringing right now. You're going to get fucked over if you're not getting really you're getting screwed over anyway. Let's get real. You're getting screwed and and liking it. But really, truly, you're going to have to present yourself a pleasing to the opposite sex to say, all right, I will take you on more than just a plaything. I will make something out of you, make your arm a woman. But you're not getting that, baby. And now my memories come to me now. Because you said she was dating one dude that was in the NFL. She was 19, he was 21. My mind started at work. I'm starting to pick up now. I'm starting to remember now. That says in 2010, sweetie, if you met a guy that's in the NFL, you actually won and you blew it. We're in 2025 now. You were on Kevin's podcast 4 years ago when you're in your late 20s going on 30. You gotta be shitting me. Fair use.
See, and here's the thing.
I'm just not interested
And what
in
what it's going to come down to, ma'am, is at the end of the day, high value men across any race are going to still have the same requirements.
Yeah.
And see, what you're saying is ultimately your particular way of thinking doesn't line up with what high value men want. And that's unfortunate if you want a high value man. They're not going to pick you, and you don't want to compromise with what they want.
Well, if they're a high value man and they're still single and they're over 35, there's probably something wrong with them.
Oh, now we go with that stuff. We're just talking about you. See,
Well, we're talking about me, but
no, because see that assumes again
what?
what?
There's something wrong with them.
Excuse me.
So have you
Excuse
ever
me?
thought about maybe what's wrong with them? Have
No,
you
no,
ever
no,
thought
no.
about
Again.
Now you see, she's trying to point fingers at some wrong with men that's a little older and they're not even married. That's not your concern, bitch. Your concern is you're trying to get out to be someone, hopefully someone's wife, and be a nice little helpmate to some man. Right now, how you moving and carry on throughout this conversation with Kevin, you're not dependable. Man, you're a serious liability.
She came with the feminist talking points.
Yeah, you came well down. And let me say something. Let me switch. She also did a follow-up after doing this on Kevin's stream, and they said that she was calling him, gay, all this stuff, and I expect that, and the reason why I expect that because he was combating your so-called feminist ideology. He poked on it. He let you know the flaws and the holes of that nonsense that wherever you develop that thinking, like this is the way to go. How that's been working out for you, baby? You're on his stream at the age of 29, or roughly 28, going on 29, if math suits me well.
He shot down her BS.
Yes, and did it very smooth.
And
J Lot, the links in the chat room. You want to come up? You come up. Reverend X will through not my thoughts. Okay, yeah. All right, let's keep going.
A typical deflection tactic in an argument is to go back to the general. If there's, you basically pull that out of the air. If they're over 35 and they're single, that has nothing to do with you. But
it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. I know it typically makes an argument easier to digest when the issue is always out there, not right here. All you can control is your attraction level to the kind of men you say you want.
Mm-hmm.
And they exist.
There's not enough choices.
No. Do men, do they exist?
Yeah.
Then
hopefully.
No. They exist. They exist. Then the problem is, and you're in a place where they exist. You're not in Anchorage, Alaska. You're in Austin, Texas. You not only know they exist, you have access. Then you should have no real issue if you what they want in getting one.
Okay, and also when you say access, where do you meet these people at for you to say there's access? Because
access meaning the fact that you're geographically located where they are.
But just because you're geographically located where they are doesn't mean that they're.
Well, Janae, I hate to break this to you, but what you want is rare. So if it's going to inconvenience you or be a little difficult, so be it. You don't want one of the 90% of guys out there. You want one of the top 10%. So you got to go see, that's the thing. That's what so many women don't want to do. They don't want to have to compete. And this is what, let me finish and say, I'll let you go. This is what a lot of femininity instructors, especially when they're talking about this level up kind of stuff, they'll often talk about, you're going to have to scrutinize yourself from head to toe, inside and out. You're going to have to get real about your ideal man. You're going to have to invest heavily into breaking into that society or doing whatever. You're going to have to educate yourself about that man's world, and you're going to have to take action. See, that's outside of the fitness and the beauty component. And that's a lot of damn work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to do those things, that's your choice. But you're not going to say, take me as I am and come knock on my door and find me when your competition is willing to do all that.
Okay. No, I understand. I didn't say knock on my door and find me. I'm saying that, like, I'm in Austin. It's very white populated. I go to
Then you can move.
nice places.
You can move to
I go
you can move
nice
to you
places
can
and-
move. You're not a slave. You can
I
move.
thought about that.
Okay,
I
and,
thought
and
about
that's
that.
and that's what I ultimately tell women that follow me. You have choices. You're the free.
For those that's watching, please guys like the stream, share the screen. You know, and as you know, with Kevin, so kindly re-educating these type of ladies like Miss Amar, that your feminist ideology is not working for you getting the outcomes you deserve in this so-called dating market, and it's not supposed to work because men are simple, they're practical. If they smell BS, they smell that you're moving this way, they don't want that in their life. So really truly
we can see that she doesn't like men.
No, she only likes men what she can get out of the man if it
Right.
serves her.
She's combative. You can see, if you can see it on this show, ain't no telling what you can see in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's why her bed is empty back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bed is nicely knit. I'm tidy, pink with the nice little heart background poster. I think that's a little heart shape she got back there.
Yep.
And saying, look, your bed doesn't look like it has been roughed up in months, baby.
Exactly.
When last time you called for your dick appointment, baby? I mean, just come handle you good, just rough you up, give you some nice little choke, and put their thing down your throat, make you choke pun it, Let me stop. All right, fast. It's almost there. Let me stop. Oh, 9 more minutes. Let's go.
Freest group of women that have ever lived, the most educated, most you can do whatever you want to. If you don't get what you want, it's because you chose not to go make it happen.
Or it's not offered, but sure.
No, and it's not supposed to be offered. It's supposed to be gotten. See, you don't supposed to offer me a success. I'm supposed to go make myself a success. See, this is what so many of our women, so many of our black women, they don't want to go out there and compete. Becky will compete. Maylene will compete. Marisol will compete. They will compete for them. Anu will compete. They will get out there and compete. They will move. They will do what they have to do. That's why they have their ass in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're taking wheatgrass shots and drinking water. And come on, sis, come on. And I'm just telling you, basically, you need to go know what the kind of man you say you want. What do they want? And you can't even really tell me, because it sounds to me as you spent more time fairly understanding what it is you want. But you got to get curious about what men want, because they're not just going to take whatever you think. They have wants too.
Right. I mean, do they think about what women want?
Yes. No, honestly, here's the truth. They don't have to think about what women want, because women want them and they want their purpose.
Well, men want women too.
Yeah,
so,
but see, the thing is, when you're the reality, here's the reality. When you're a high value man, you always have plenty of women trying to get after you. You can be a beautiful.
Yeah, but are they valuable though? Besides sex, besides their looks, are they smart? Are they intelligent?
Let me answer the question. The valuable ones make themselves known. If you're truly valuable, it's only a fool that hides that.
But
if you're truly valuable, you make it known. It's only a fool that hides value.
But when a woman knows she's valuable, she doesn't let a man just run her. All of a sudden, it's a problem.
Again, you asked about high value men, and I answered the question. If you are what they want, you are foolish for not making it known. Hey, I'm here. And you keep going back to men that don't work.
I know a lot of high value men, a lot of older men who are very, very wealthy, and they are still having problems finding a woman because they have this mindset
I'm
that
sorry,
they're
but
a prize and it's
but
doing
here's the
something.
reality. We're not talking about them and the ones you have problems with.
Oh my
That's not the
God.
point. The point
You're
is
only talking about what? You're
you.
talking about 1%? You're
Yes.
talking about
No,
this
no,
1%
no.
of guys?
We're talking about why you say you want something and why you can't find it or get it.
Just
You,
like the rest of these women that are
no,
on this
no,
panel,
no,
just like
ma'am. I'm
most
not
other
dealing with the
men
rest of the women.
saying
We're
they can't
talking
find what
about
they want.
you. We're talking about you.
See, the beautiful thing about Kevin, he has to make it personal. And a lot of people that called into the show don't understand. Say, so why you pointing this at me? Because everything is reflected on you. Screw everything else. We talking about you, baby. Why are you not getting the outcomes that you say you deserve? What's holding you back to getting that so-called man? Or better yet, what's stop you to try to obtain that so-called the top 10 to even if you're lucky a 1% man? You say you had him 15 years ago. What happened? Why you let him go? If he's playing the NFL, that means that he was making. Did you know that she said she was in a relationship with an NFL person?
Yep.
So what the fuck happened to that, baby? What happened?
She was 19, he was 21.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really concerned about the young age, but I'm saying you won. Why you didn't stay with him? Kept him. You'd be much further off.
But
What did you
she tried to say he was high value, and Kevin showed her there's a difference. Females don't know the difference between high value and high earning. That dude was a high earning man.
Yes, correct.
And Kevin doesn't consider athletes. She showed that she doesn't really study Kevin, because Kevin said he doesn't consider athletes and entertainers as high value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but remember, I'm a scout and an agent and a trainer, NFL and NBA. I see this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the whole trick, I'm gonna give you the trick and the key to relationships. The trick and key to relationships is, how do you find the right person? How do you find the perfect person? The answer is, you can't find the perfect person. You don't find uh the you don't find the right mate. You have to become the right mate.
Mm-hmm.
And when you become the right mate, you attract hundreds of perfect mates. But people like her, she's stuck. She's stuck in prior previous bad relationships. And she keeps replaying it because it's a loop. It keeps replaying. These bad relationships keep replaying, and she's she's spouting the trope that all men are dogs in several different ways, because she hadn't done the inner work to the trick is not you'll never find the right mate until you become the right mate. And the only way to become the right mate is through self-introspection, self-examination, self-analysis, and self-knowledge. But she wants to do what Kevin said, and that's deflect. Every all these men are the problem. All the men are the problem and not her. And that's how
Yeah.
females think. That's what feminism has taught these females. Oh, the men are the problem. The men are the problem. They've all been Oprahized and Jesse Raphaelitized and Jerry Springerized. Oh, it's the men that's the problem. The men, oh, these men ain't no good. Girl, you know these men's ain't no good, girl. And they never do what uh Michael Jackson told them to do. Look at who? The man in the mirror.
Yeah, that is a good analogy, brother. And I got a question. Was you on GC Game Changers channel by any chance?
Who's GC?
Game Changer.
Oh no, sir.
Oh, because I thought you was this other guy that he was arguing with this woman, and she was talking all over you, and she got
No,
offended. Yeah, I
that's
thought
that's
you was the other guy.
no, that's why I get on very few shows because people can't handle good knowledge and good wisdom. But this brother Chaos Rain can.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this, you know why she don't got nobody, and she had an NFL player. This is point A right now. This is point A. She was probably talking over him.
Yep.
She want to control shit. Excuse my
Yep.
language.
Yep.
He told her, I got to replace you. I got to cut you off. You got to go. You
Right.
can't run things over here. She wants to run things. She because they think when you get successful or rich, they said you know how that goes. Oh, my money is my money. Your money is my money.
Yep, I hear that dumb notion.
So now he's like, this is my money. If you ain't gonna come to my program, sit your ass. You got to go. That's what she said. All men are dogs.
Right.
All men what a woman wants. Go ahead.
See, black females have been turned into dudes, and they don't even realize it.
Oh my God.
They're argumentative and competitive with us. We don't need no damn competitor. God said for the female to be soft, sweet, submissive, just like Kevin Samuel said. Sex, silent sandwich, fit, feminine, friendly.
You need to go to see. I'm sorry to cut you off. You need to go to see Mr. Z channel, because he was talking about the reason why they like this, because it's I don't know it's a trigger word, chaos, but it is part of LGBT.
Reason why they like what?
The reason why they like it,
yes,
because they are it's called, you gotta look at the definition of the queer background. And somebody told me what this is. The queer, I thought this LGBTQ thing is so fucking weird. It's to the point that it's like you gotta study what the meaning behind these alphabet words. So the queer thing is women that's like her don't have to be feminine.
Right.
If they don't care, they don't be feminine. They don't want to be feminine. They wasn't raised to be feminine. They take that, like you said, take me as I am. Don't care about it. Man gonna have to deal with it.
You know why what you're saying is so true. All you have to do is look at the word partner. These females say they want a partner. God ain't never told no female to get a partner. God told a female to be a helpmeet. Where does that word partner comes from? Partner comes from the LBGT gay community.
Facts. Boom. Explosion. Yep.
Just to prove your point. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. But
yeah, I just wanted to help your point.
No, because that's what, when the dude broke it down to me, I was like, oh my God. So you didn't tell me the women back then, the ones back in the early 2000s, 90s, and 80s, and especially 70s.
No, 60s.
They was raised to be how to be a woman, what to be a woman is, be raised how to be mannerism as a woman, how to cook, clean, that stuff, like hygiene and stuff like that, how to present yourself. But now in this day and age, this new generation don't care about that. It wasn't brought up to be the tools about that. So now they said, hell no, we don't give a hell about y'all want us to be women, to be how to act back in this ain't the 60s. So now this is the queer. That's why I said the queer thing comes in, because that's what the queer sex thing comes in. And then he was telling me also it's other women that benefits from it in the workplace, so they get hired like that too, also as well. So they would deem as masculine male as masculinity, and they get benefits off of it. It was crazy how
perfect points. And what you have to realize is you bring the points home. All this was done. You have to ask yourself the question, why was all this done? All this was done to take power away from black brothers like me and you, because they're not helpmeets anymore. They're dykes, they're lesbians, they're partners. They're businesswomen, they're free, they're liberated, they're this, they're that, they're everything except a wife. And that has destroyed the black home, black family, black marriage, and black community. See, before 1970, we had an 80 to 90% marriage rate. Today we have a 90% divorced single mom rate. And our kids, black kids, enjoy deleting each other.
Oh, this is not it. I'm gonna tell you something. I love when they said black women are the backbones of the black community. Oh yeah, how I said okay, so if y'all have the backbones of the black community, how these little boys can't read? How
Right.
these little boys can't read? The education is so I know the education system is messed up, but damn, basic reading, dude. Last time I checked, I had to check when she said that when he said that scared me, man, because I seen it when I was in high school. Like people was like, how you spell this? How you spell that? Even though they was picking on me, and it was like, you don't know how to spell this? I said, you don't know how to read this, dude? So I
Right.
was like, that was something little, but it got worse over time. After I graduated, it got worse and worse.
Right. And
And I
see
was just like, oh my
how can
God, y'all been teaching your kids how to read? What the fuck? Go ahead.
how can you be a backbone and you can't build anything? Like I told Brother Chaos, if you get 10 females together, they can't and gave them the instructions, they could not build a doghouse. God gave the ability to build to men and men only. Uh, if you need proof of what I'm saying, find me a female owned and operated construction company anywhere in the US. The answer is you can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible. So how are you the backbone and you not building nothing? You can't build nothing. It's impossible. Like Kevin said all the time on his show. Just turn on Survivor. Just turn on the TV show Survivor. Uh, the when people are taken to random people are taken to a remote island somewhere, it's the men that start establishing a bulkhead and building huts and uh, 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 del-
Scavenging and hunting down animals and stuff like that.
deleting animals and getting food and building fires. Females sit around and talk, watch and wait, and watch us do everything. How in the hell is that a backbone? That's some more feminist uh women's liberation talking points to destroy to keep destroying the black community and keeping the black community the ghetto that it is and holding us down and holding us back and keeping that divorce single mom rate at 90%.
Oh, it's not on. I'm gonna tell you something that hurts me. My uncle told me something that it really, which I seen this in a lot of black communities, especially black moms, that I might have to do a podcast about this. It might strike controversy about this, but the son husband thing it is a real thing. It is getting out of control because my uncle told me, my other uncle, my other cousin, my other cousin on my father's side, he was a great pitcher and he was getting promoted for the Yankees baseball team. I said, why didn't he go? His mama didn't want him to go and stopped him.
Right.
And I said, that's not hindering bull crap. And you can't leave mama. Nah, if your son have an opportunity to have a bit of, to get himself higher a level, and career is as he is, and he has a talent. Don't block him off his talent.
But
I see a lot of black
don't
women do that.
they don't care about that because females are not leaders. They're going to make the wrong decision every time. Why? Because their nature is chaotic. Why did God make their nature chaotic? Their their na- their nature is nuclear energy, and nuclear energy has to be harnessed or it will kill people. And their nature is chaotic, their nuclear energy. Why? because when you put when a man shoots his seed in a female, he can shape and mold that child to become anything. So a female has to be under strict control, and it's the Muslim countries that get it right. That's why they cover them up. That's why they keep them in the house, because they're so females are chaotic, they're nuclear, and they're powerful. And if they're not controlled, you'll get total chaos. Without order, there's only two realities. If you don't order and what? Chaos. If she's not in order, if she's not a females only have two choices. Either you be a wife. If you're not a wife, you're gonna be a whore. If you're not
So,
a
wait. Before we continue, did someone said chaos? Yes, yes. All right, let's wrap up the video. Fair use.
What do you want? Here's the question, Janae. Simple question.
It's a lot easier.
Let me make it real simple.
Woman.
Let me make it real simple. What do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it?
You want me to answer that question?
That's what life comes down to. What do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it?
Do you want me to answer the question?
Yes,
or?
I'm waiting. I mean, I've said yes twice. What do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it?
I mean, I told you what I want, and I'm willing to go to events and do all that stuff and go find that. Go and put myself in positions to find the type of guy that I want.
Okay.
Now, my qualm is
let me finish. Now I have the follow-up question.
Okay.
You may want an A in class, but if you're only going to do C-level work, you can't complain that you don't get an A. So whatever your qualm is, I got to look at your effort. You're just willing to show up. And you expect an elite level man.
What do you mean I'm just willing to show up?
I'm willing to go to events. Hold on.
And
Let me finish. No, ma'am, I listened to what you said. I'm willing to go to events, put myself in place.
She just said she wants to go find the man that she wants. Finding, that's a masculine trait. Men are hunters and gatherers. And by her finding, she's admitting she's masculine because she wants to hunt for the kind of male that she wants. And she admitted being masculine. Since opposites attract, what kind of male is she gonna find?
A beta male.
Worse than that, a feminine male.
Oh, even worse.
A soft, sweet, feminine male like these gangster thugs are. 80% of the kids in the black community, 80% of the kids in the black community are fathered by 15% of the males. The rapper, gangster, thug, criminal, dope dealers. She's a perfect example of why 80% of the kids are fathered by Pookie, Ray Ray, Mowski, Killer, Trigger, Nook Nook, Mac Mac, and Snooky Low. And this is why all these females got 5 different kids by 8 different Negroes. But they want a high value man, and they feel like they deserve a high value man. They feel like this and they feel like that. Go ahead, brother.
All right. Let's continue. Fair use.
You're willing to go and be. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Hold on. But see, the thing is,
I can showcase.
hold on, ma'am. You can't overtalk me.
You
can't overtalk me. I'm trying not to mute you, but you can't overtalk me. See, that's the extent of what you're willing to do, and I accept that. But there's a handful of high value men, and there are 4 times the women. 10% of men are wanted by 20% of women. That means there's at least 2 to 1 before marriage.
I feel like I can't.
So let me
win.
no. What you can't do is your competition is willing to do more than that. See what you didn't.
Okay,
so
what
you
are
did
they
not. What you did
willing
not
to do?
say is.
Because
What you did not say is. You know what? I'm willing to go learn and understand what these men want, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get what I want. I'm willing to be Becky, Marisol, Marlene. I'm willing to go put in the effort of a champion because you want a champion level man. You just want to show up, and that's fine.
no, I gave you. Okay. The reason why I said I wanted to do that was because you just said, we just had a conversation about putting myself in those positions. So I said, okay, I'm willing to put myself in those positions. I've already told you what I have to offer. So there was no reason to repeat that.
Well,
so I'm saying I'm going to take what I have to offer.
Okay,
and I'm going to put myself in those positions.
This has been a good back and
because
forth, but I will say this. I will
already take care of myself.
hold on. We're almost at 1 o'clock. I do thank you for coming on. It's been a good back and forth, but I will say this to wrap it up. If that's what you're willing to do to get what you want, if you don't get the outcome, it is your responsibility. It's not because you didn't have the chance. That's how this world works.
What do you mean because I didn't have a chance?
Well, if what you just articulated was the extent of what you're willing to do and all the other stuff. And the thing is, if that's what's being offered, and if he decides to pick someone else, then you had a shot at it. And if you don't get it, it's not as though they didn't exist. And see, this is a hard thing for a lot of women to really accept. If you don't get what you want, it's not a problem with the men. Maybe you just weren't good enough.
What do you mean? What if the guy wasn't there? What if he doesn't exist? Why are you just
No,
trying to
they
blame
exist.
him?
Because I already gave you the example of what are you willing to do. I'm willing to show up. That means you showed up and go to the places where you know they are. They're there. And you didn't. And what are you willing to do to separate yourself from the crowd? See, if we talked about going to college, and I said, what are you willing to do to get into Stanford or Princeton or Harvard? You would be willing to do far more than just to get into junior college because because you're going to have a greater return.
It's guaranteed, and there's going to be.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, sweetheart. There are no guarantees in this. There are no guarantees. They're all experience, love, and war. There are no guarantees except one thing: you get out of life what you put into it. And if you're not willing to compete for a high level elite man, you cannot fault the fact that you don't get one if you have a shot at it. But thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on.
All right, bye-bye. Guys, she made some points. I mean, everybody's not going to agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, like I said before, and let me take this down. It's like this, guys. And I will do a follow-up about her next stream. Is, baby, you're just like any modern feminist. You look for something that is comfort, security, and actually without taking no risk and want to reap the rewards without doing very little. That's not going to work. Especially a lot of women are fighting for the top 10 to 1% of men, which really is preposterous, but okay. Most of you ladies, if you're not getting it, you're going to try to get little trinkets from a lot of dudes in every city, every hood in America. And I'm telling you right now, that is drying up. Most of these dudes not, and that's why I'm. This is my thing, and you guys can probably disagree. This is why I don't advocate a lot of men be tricking a lot of Western women in America. They should, they should be tricking, period. But you should definitely not giving no money, period, to these women.
Right.
And the reason why I say is because they already have the assumption that they just show up. All a man's gonna do is gonna throw some dollars at them, and in return, these men might think they're just gonna gain something, like they're gonna get some mouth or some front box.
But guess what? But guess what? This is not strippers. This is prostitute culture, man. Right. The stripper culture came early back in the 2010s, 2012s with Nicki Minaj and all that stuff. I remember the rise of strip culture.
I was gonna say stripper hoe mentality.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
for sure. It got combined because it was rising up back in the day. I remember back in high school, all these strippers, all the guys getting strippers and strip these stripper videos, stuff like that. Back in high school, back in 2010s era, 2013 era, I was around that time. But then every girl that was turning 18, 19, going to the strip club and being a stripper. And then now we in a prostitute era, man. I don't know what happened. 2019, we in a prostitute era, stripper and prostitute era.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, stripper
You-
is a prostitute because once you shake a tail feather and wiggle around, he want to know what that thing can do in the back room, and you gonna want to turn that $20 tip into a $300 bump. And we all know there's only one way to do that, to get that upgrade.
what pissed me off? What pissed me off is a lot of these dudes, these athletes, especially these celebrities, getting these I gotta be careful here. These strippers and corn stars pregnant. I'll be like, what did y'all be doing, man? Like, what did y'all? How that stupid to get these shit? You supposed to lay with the bride, not get her pregnant.
No. I'm a scout agent trainer, NFL, NBA. I work with these dudes. I'm gonna tell you why it happens.
They're the biggest simps.
You love how they run. You love how they jump. You love how they shoot. You love how they catch. You love how they throw. Why do you love it so much? Because that's all they were working on. They were getting a checkup from the neck down. But in real life, they never got a checkup from the neck up. And 90% of them are fatherless. So there's no man in their ear telling them how not to trick. That's all they know. And they got I've seen them walk around with 50,000 in their hand.
I know you ain't. I know how you telling the truth because I went to high school as a football. I used to play football. This is one of the reasons why I hate football because it wasn't only the locker room talk. It was just like the simpery, the fuckery. Like, you know, this chick's a whole. She smashed the whole team. Like, you know, NBA. The basketball team, football team had a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just. I was just like, y'all can't be that serious. And then you try to speak out against it. No, bro, it sound like you don't get none, bro. You try to be the guy that try to speak out against it. You try to be aware, try to get aware about it. You get called a lame and everything else in the book.
Well, you know why? You know why you get called a lame? Because you're too close. You're in that same age bracket. You have to have an elder. That's the job of an elder, to pull the coattails, because they're gonna look at you as a peer, as an equal. What you talking about is wisdom that has to come from top down, because they're gonna look at you like, oh man, you in the same school with me. Who the hell you think you are? You think you better than me, talking crazy like this? They can't accept that. That's too much.
I believe that's a fact. That's a cold fact, man. That's
Yes,
a hard.
sir.
I'm just looking at it right now. Like, I'm one of the lucky ones that didn't get. I still got no kids this very day. I'm 31 years old, man. Shit, I seen what the fuck was going on before everybody else did. I didn't fall for the trap, so I'm just like, I'm the lucky ones that didn't get the baby mom from hell. What you gonna say, Chaos?
No, I was not saying nothing right now. I was looking at something. But I would say it's because I'm gonna wrap this up. In this form of fashion, that what Canada was the foundation for a lot of women that last time I checked was still complaining and talk about this man been dead for just only 3 years now of today. And let you know, saying that the haunting, his words hold weight to every woman, because what he told these ladies for the last 2 years, from 2020 up to 2022, what was going to happen to you, what you should do, how to do it, and you get the pushback for a lot of women, including Janae Moore, and she was just in her late 20s when she went up in the panel and then tried to challenge him with her feminist mindset. And I'm saying, sweetie, if this feminism or way how you think it and move it in life, if this was all good, you should be already completely married. Matter of fact, let me scratch that. You'll be in control right now because that's what it seems that you're fighting for. You want to be the one where a man marries you and gives you everything and no resistance. And I'm telling you, baby, you're not gonna find it. You're not gonna find it to the average black man. Maybe some black men if you're lucky, maybe. But to other groups, man, you're definitely not getting that. You're definitely not getting that. You know what I'm saying?
See, bad news.
Mm-hmm.
What females don't realize, males don't either.
Mm-hmm.
A female is old at 27.
Mm-hmm.
A female is old at 27. Why? Because when a female turns 30, she loses 90% of her eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So 27 to 30, that's 3 years to have 3 children. If they want to have a family, 27 is old. But they try to say a guy is old. They flip it around, like Willie Lynch taught them to, and they try to say a guy is old. Now, Kevin Samuels, let me tell you something. Kevin Samuels is more alive today than 4 and 5 and 6 years ago. Why? Because there are 10 people. When he was alive, there was one Kevin Samuels show. Today, it's 10 Kevin Samuels shows. He's more alive today than he was 5, 6, 7 years ago when he was walking the earth. And what makes Kevin so powerful is that we have a 90% single mom divorce rate. That means 90% of the kids and females grew up without a father. So he's so powerful because he was the father that these females never had. And that's why they rebel against him. Because they see in him, they see the father that they never had, and they get this attitude that they hoe ass single mom ain't bitter, their bitter mom has. They got the same attitude. Who this nigga think he is to be telling anybody anything? They got the Aunt Esther attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And they take their anger of the father that abandoned them out on Kevin.
Or they just hate and then say it's what this nigga talking about black women for. He ain't know what the hell he talking about. Shut your mouth.
That's what I said.
Yeah. I know.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. Any closing remarks? Go ahead,
Mr. Terrence. Mr.
Who?
No, I'm in the show. Any last words?
Oh, it was a beautiful show. A lot got accomplished. A lot got done.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Chaos, you're ES on Cash App, right?
Yes. My Cash App's scrolling down. Yes.
Yeah. I sent you a couple of dollars.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. You the only person that will play a Kevin Samuels video and have live feedback on it. So I admire you and look up to you for doing that. You're the only person on the entire YouTube with the brains and the balls enough to do that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. I try, like I said, and
you ain't trying, you succeeding, brother.
Oh, thank you. I seen better.
Yes, sir. Trying is lying. Be like Nike and just do it.
True. All right. All right. Thank you, and Terrence. We'll do this again soon. Hope to see you again on the next stream. Keep a lookout. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, J Lock. Any last?
I was up all night baking this banana bread, man. Yeah, man, I caught your live, man. I was watching. I was like, "Who's up last night?" So I got your live, and I was in chat, and I forgot it was Kevin Samuel's. What's it called? How do you call the people? Somebody passed away, the anniversary. What's it called? And everybody's, and you and another guy that I had named Urban Politician TV. He's from Texas. He was doing a live stream about it, and people got mad at him for celebrating his what's it called day? His pass away. What's it called that? Memorial Day. Memorial Day. His memorial passing day. So he was giving him shout out praises. So you was also doing that too, Last. So y'all was both live at the same time. So I forgot he passed away on the 5th. I'm glad you did that, but every time I look at Kevin Samuels, every time I look at other people's podcast videos, it's not the same. It's not the same. His talent, his style was something different that he brought to the game in the industry of YouTube, and he was gone too soon. And I'm just like, I wish you would have stayed. I wish you would have stayed, man. I kind of cried, busted when I first heard him cry. I cried this man passed away, man, because everybody, I know I was the only one that cried busted away, but everybody was like, he was gone too soon. This man was ahead of his time, and he knew what he was talking about. And it wasn't, and the problems wasn't good. The problem, even if he passed away, the problems were still there. He gave them the blueprint what to do, especially Black women, and they still didn't follow through. They still rebelled against him, and this is the repercussions you see. He was trying to save Black women, not harm them. But the thing is, what can you do when the knife is in your back? They try to sabotage you as a Black man, or by your own people. He was already being hung, crucified for doing what he did. He was like the Messiah, basically. It was like basically the Messiah. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that, but it was. It just hurts me, man. Every time I look at this brother, it's just I wish we have him now. I wish we have him now. I wish he was here with us right now. But that's all I gotta say. It was a great show, Chaos. It was a great show.
Thank you, Mr. J. We're gonna do this again soon. Be on the lookout for another live stream, and this one I'm probably gonna go a little more into some things. So be on the lookout for that. You get me? All right. Okay. Let me see. Let's see if anything came in since the guy said he did send me something from the Cash App. So I'm looking. Okay. Oh, it was received. Okay. I got some for you, Mr. Terrence. Since you so kindly gave a donation, here you go. Where is it? Here you go. This one is for you.
But they be knocking, y'all. The sonic rings up out of it, and you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Terrence, for the $10 Cash App. Appreciate it. And thank you all for coming into today's stream, guys. I sure do appreciate it. Hold on. I gotta check something. I gotta probably refresh my systems. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. I sure appreciate it. Please leave comments, and like always, give this video a like. The links to follow me are below. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You can also follow me on Rumble, CRain23 on Rumble. Join the Discord service, and last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show. What are you guys waiting for? Membership got its perks. like always. And that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for listening to today's stream. And like always, until next time, people, let the chaos reign.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Must reign.